Hello and welcome to a grey and quite drizzly Sydney Harbour for the Vycobi 29er GP Round 2. We're coming to you early today for these flying 29er skiffs. We've got 14 out today in Rose Bay, and we're going to see some exciting racings for some of the future stars of Australian sailing, no doubt about that. The breeze is in the south-southeast, at probably oscillating between perhaps 8 to 12 knots at the moment. A few rain squalls coming across the course, and we're only a couple of moments away from the first start today. I'm Peter Shipway. I'll be bringing this live stream to you, and joining me in commentary today, we've got a young commentator in Rocco Springer, an 11-year-old who races
Hello.
Optimists and Flying Ants. Hello to you, Rocco. How you going? All right?
Good, Peter.
That's the boy. We'll look forward to hearing from you. And also, we've got Matt Butterworth, who's the president, New South Wales president of the Niner Association, which covers the 29ers and their big brother, the 49ers. Good afternoon to you, Matt.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks a lot.
Matt, just before we get underway officially, how did this regatta come about? What's the thinking behind it all?
So the thinking behind it, Peter, is to get all our 29er sailors racing together as an inter-club series, and to give all the clubs in the area the opportunity to share with a big fleet. So the 29er GP series was created to run multiple races over a weekend and give all our clubs the opportunity to come together. And what it's done is it's given our younger sailors the opportunity to lift and sail with all our senior sailors, but also just gives everyone a lot more fun and give that sense of community. And it's just been an amazing year so far.
And we've got a bit of innovation out here, which we'll talk about a bit later. We've got one skiff with a square top mainsail and a carbon fibre rig, but we might get to that a bit later as we're just watching them all stack up now for the start. There's the square top main, you can see there in the middle. Now, Rocco, what end of the starting line do you like? The committee boat end or the pin end?
I think today I would start on the committee boat line.
Okay,
Part of the line.
We'll see how you go. They looked as though they're taking your advice, Rocco. The majority of them are stacked up here. And Matt, the course is just a windward leeward. Is that right up into Rose Bay?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct, Peter. We're just going to do 2 sprints today. Windward leeward, we'll have them a really simple course, running down back to the start boat, do a little sausage, and then come back again.
So they've had a pretty exhaustive year, I guess. They've done a lot of Sail Sydney and then Sail Melbourne and a lot of titles. And are most of the top players out here today?
Not all of them, but most of them are here. So we have had to rest a few of our teams after a very compressed January, doing East Coast Champs, Sail Sydney and Sail Melbourne, which they just finished last week. So today is just a bit of a fun date and an opportunity to play with the 18s. But as you can see, mate, they're still fiercely competitive out there, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some excitement with this little rain squall coming through. Yeah,
well, the boat in the foreground with appliances online insignia, that's a famous name.
Yeah, that's young Joel Bishel and Logan Radford. Now Joel, we've seen him in the Opties, we've seen him in the Flying Ants, and this is their second year in the 29er and doing really well in the overall series. So they've got a really good teamwork going there, and Joel's fantastic to watch.
Yes, certainly a famous name in Australian sailing. But just before we get underway, a shout out certainly to Ryan Ewings, who should have been out there today, but stuck at home with COVID, unfortunately. The boys also missed Sail Melbourne last week. So they've got to isolate. So we send you our best wishes, Ryan, and hopefully a speedy and safe recovery and out on the water as soon as you can. So we're stacked up here. Rocco,
I think they're pretty following my
advice. Wow,
yeah.
That's good. That's good. And you've got a brother out here today, Rocco?
Yeah, Orlando is on AmFast with Will Troop.
Getting close now.
2680, Rocco. So let's keep an eye on your brother and see what he's doing right.
Okay, there's a few blokes down that pin end, Rocco, that look as though they want that end.
Well, it's a fight to the top mark.
Yeah, well, we're very close to a start now. They're getting ready to push the pedal. A couple of them early. They've bailed out down at that pin end. Ooh, there's a couple close to being over. Or they're away. They're away. I think there's maybe a couple that are over.
And that is a clear start.
Clear start, okay. Well, there we go. Good on them. Good on them. No going back in this fleet. Well, away we go. And boats down at the pin end have gone staying on starboard into the shore at Rose Bay, Nielsen Park, the western side or southwestern side of Nielsen Park, and they're away in this breeze that's up and down, isn't it, Rocco? What do you think?
It looks pretty up and down, yeah, like you said.
Good. It's a good sailing breeze, though. It's probably 8 knots in the lulls and maybe up to 10 or 11 in the gust, but perfect sailing conditions. Only one man on the trapeze allowed on these 29ers. And the fleet, most of them now on port tack going in towards Shark Island.
Yep.
Looks like a bit of local knowledge there, Pete, with Max Nern and Tom Whitehead going out on 3017, going out to the right.
Okay, the boat just going off screen to the left there with that boat ropes insignia. We might come back to them. There are a couple of girl sailors who have been very, very successful. That's them with a red insignia. They're on the left of screen now, middle of screen. Tell us about them, Matt. They've got some good pedigree, I believe, on that boat.
So 2961, Caitlin Hart and Stella, they've had an amazing season so far, and you'll see them jump out the front very quickly as they move across the Shark Island. Really skilled from Hunters Hill. Hunters Hill having a pretty amazing development program, and which they are a product of.
And the boat to lure to them, 3084. Do we know them, Rocco, at all?
3084. No, I don't recognise that one.
Okay, they're doing a good job of holding the girls at bay at the moment, just coming round their bow. That's Shark Island in the background.
That's Jacob Marks. That's Ryan Ewing's boat, Shippo. So I think Finn has jumped in to help out Jacob. And Ryan, it looks like they're doing okay, mate. I hope you're watching.
Yeah, well, the boat's going into Shark Island. There's one boat right on Shark Island. I think when he tacks, he'll probably cross the fleet. And we'll see who that is when we get up a bit closer. In the foreground is 3138, just tacking now. And there's the leader, I think, is tacked on starboard. He will cross the fleet right on Shark Island there. We'll get his number in a moment. But it's still quite closely compacted, the fleet, Rocco, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not much in it.
I think all the skippers have a choice, and I think they've chosen that the Shark Islands part of the course is favoured today.
Yeah, well, 3185 is the race leader at the moment.
So, Benny Crowford and Marcus Sampson. So Marcus Sampson is the crew, usually with Daniel Links, who have won every regatta this year. So Marcus, amazing crew to have on board with Ben.
Well, both their fathers are well known in yachting circles, David Sampson and Carl Crawford. They're great ocean racing yachtsmen, and their sons are, I think, probably just in the lead. It's quite shifty, the breeze at the moment. The puffs are probably coming out of the right-hand side, and we're about a third of the way up the beat. The mark's fairly well up into Rose Bay, near the... The breeze is up and down, that's for sure. There's not much in these puffs. So we'll come back to the square top main, Matt, and get your comments on that when we get a bit of a visual on that boat. But the boats have all got pinhead mainsails. But here we are on the square top main. Give us some background here. What's happening here, Matt?
The background there, Pete, is we're testing out a new carbon rig, and with it comes a new sail plan, which is that square top. Now, the Australian Niner Association has given us a few months to test this rig, and we're going to go back with them with some data and formally submit a change request for a class rule change, and hopefully bring these boats into the future. So Charlie Johnson there and Hugo Butterworth taking it through its paces, and I think they're pretty excited to have a go. You'll notice there's a little winglet in the top of that mast, which apparently is a similar device used on A380 jumbos, or A380 jets.
Now, Matt, what's the advantages and disadvantages of the flat top main?
Oh, Rocco, that's a really good question, mate. So I think most of the advantages right now are weight in that boat. So it's only 6.5 kilos fully rigged, and compared to about 10.5 kilos for the aluminium. So that's the advantage at the moment, mate.
And Matt, if it's got to get approved, I guess, by the association, how does that then affect the worldwide group of 29ers?
Well, like any change, it has to go through a process, and this is the beginning of that process. So we want to make sure that any change is supports our sailors and is cost effective, and it has longevity in the class. So this is the starting point, Pete. We're just going to collect some good information and then start that process next year.
Okay, well, we're looking at them halfway up the beat, I think, and probably 3188 is close to the lead, close to Joel Beechel coming out on port. Looks fairly strong. We'll see him in a moment. They're 3188 and 3185 are probably first and second, but they're on.
So this is looking
starboard.
good. So we got Eva Atwood and Sabine.
Wow, that is close for
well
Joel.
done, Eva. So they were down in Melbourne recently and did really well. The bearaways are going to be great. So you watch these girls how they set this up.
Oh, okay. So, sorry guys, I had the wrong weather mark. They're around the weather mark. That's all right. Lucky I wasn't sailing Rocco, eh? I would have overlaid. There we go. So that's very close to three of them. 3185, 1848.
So there's Marcus Sampson and Benny Crayford, and Joel's just got it around. Now keep an eye on the Hunters Hill girls here, boat ropes. They're very, very slick downhill.
Well, they're in fourth spot at the moment, the girls. There they are, with a light pale blue spinnaker. And 3138, a yellow
There's
spinnaker.
Josh and Ellis there on
Which colour spinnaker, Rocco?
the purple one.
Okay. Who's that, Josh? What's his other name?
Josh and Ellis.
Right.
Ellis Merritt and Josh Poulsen from Royal Prince Alfred. So they've teamed up today because Ellis has lost his normal helm on his boat. So they're a good example of how versatile these teams are. They can swap around and sail with each other.
And there's M Fast there with Orlando and Will.
What colour spinnaker have they got, Rocco, so we can see them?
They've got an orange one.
Ah, that's them with the orange, okay. They're screaming along. They're all set very well. There's one boat that's jibed away, gone right away on the port jibe. We'll see how he comes out when we finish down at the leeward end. Okay, well, here's two boats. They're back in the pack, the orange and black spinnaker. There's,
Yeah, that's my brother.
that's your brother, is it, Rocco? On the,
Yeah,
how's
Orlando.
he doing? You any tips for him? What he could be doing better?
I reckon he's doing pretty well.
Is your brother skippering or is the foreign?
Yeah, my brother's skippering.
And is he normal skipper? He normally skippers?
Yeah, he's the helm for M Fast.
That's the girls with that pale spinnaker in the foreground. Just jibing. There's a few more jibes to come before they get down towards the leeward end. And Matt, are we just doing one lap? I'm sorry, I should have known that.
Sorry, say that again, Chipper.
Are we just doing one lap or are they doing two laps?
Looks like maybe the first race will be one lap. They
Okay.
might do it a 2 lap at the next time around. We'll just keep an eye on it.
Okay, well, it's all pretty close. Probably got there the girls again. There's the yellow chute going back in about 5th place. Probably it looks like the blue spinnaker of Joel Beechel is pretty close to the lead. He's got starboard tack rights when the orange boat comes back. He's jibing inside him. Lovely jibes on those two boats. If this is the finish,
It's going to be close, this one.
if this is the finish, it's going to be very close. But no, they're dropping spinnaker, so they're
Oh, it
going
might be
do
another
another
lap.
lap. Chipper.
upwind for a second time by the look of that. Okay, so Joel Beechel
Oh.
leads. And then the girls right on their hammer, only a boat length adrift. So Benny Crawford second, Joel Beechel leads, and the girls third. And who we got on 3188, Matt? Who we got there? Another.
That's Eva Atwood.
Okay, another girl skipper.
And Sabine West.
Yep, terrific. The breeze a bit better stabilised now, probably about a good 10 knots, 9 knots. Probably gone a little bit left. As the fleet are coming down. Wind now, a purple orange spinnaker there. And then the white spinnaker. The foreground 2688. He'll be
Barrett and Josh Poulsen.
okay. They're in 5th spot. Who's the orange shoot here? Who's that?
Jacob Marks and Finn.
Oswald times.
Oh, hang on to it, boys.
Look out.
Okay. Oh, here's a bit of action coming in with the blue spinnaker off screen. You'll see him in a moment. Yeah, he's got the job done.
Look at that white spinnaker coming, ripping in.
There's going to be some good action here. Nice rounding.
Well done, boys.
Yeah, all clean. Those spinnakers disappear down a chute that keeps them nice and clean and no going over the side unless there's real misadventure. But these 29ers, they're first produced in 1998, designed by Australian Julian Bethwaite. They've got a spinnaker area of just over 16 square metres and a upwind sail area of 13 and a bit square metres, mast height of about 20.5 feet, and a hull weight of about 74 kilos. What's the ultimate crew weight, Matt? What everyone thinks is a sort of good crew weight to perform well at?
Generally the crew is about 65 up to 70 kilos, and total crew weight maybe 125, 150. But yeah, you'll see the helm, he's sort of sitting on 45, 50 kilos.
And is the next step logically into 49ers, or does this pathway here, I guess the 29ers, open up a lot of avenues to take the next step up?
That's a great question, Pete. So really the beauty of this skiff is it opens up doorways for many boats, not just the 49er. And these boats just provide a great skill set to go into any skiff class and also into yachting, like bigger yachts. And you'll find a lot of these kids are already started sailing other boats, and you know their skills are just so valuable. Their intuitive sense of sailing is really, really good.
So on the right of screen, just go off picture, is the square top main, and then 3028, we're on camera there. Who's that, Rocco? Do we know 3028? Musto on the sail.
But I see the flat top mains, that's Hugo there.
Yeah. They're struggling a little. There they go into Shark Island. You can see the difference, certainly see the difference in the main there and the mast height, those two boats.
Yeah.
Is this the first outing with the square top, Matt?
It is, Pete. It's their first race, the first time they've had it out. So yeah, we'll see lots of differences in the various wind ranges. But again, it's like learning a new boat.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're about 2/3 the way up the beat. The breeze still in the south-southeast, about well, nothing more than 10 knots, probably down in the lulls at about 6 or 7 and up at about 9 knots. It's still a nice sailing breeze and a clear pathway up to the weather mark. Not too many big power boats ploughing their way through the course, which is always good. And I think it still looks like Joel Beechel's pretty close to the lead. But here we go. There's a couple more going on port tack. They're just up at near Shark Island. The leaders are probably a couple of 100 metres ahead of this group here.
See Caitlin and Stella there working really hard. They're not giving up. They really want to get in front of Joel.
So, Matt, it appears that the foreign hand on the trapeze, he works the mainsail.
That's correct.
And the jib, smaller front sail, is on a self-tacker. Is that how that works?
Yeah. It's a self-tacker. It's a continuous sheet, so the main connects to the jib, And you'll see that when they come around the top mark, they'll hand the main sheet over to the helm, and the crew will take over the kite sheet.
Well, that's the battle for the lead. There's about 4 boats vying for the lead, but at the moment it's Joel Beechel leading. The girls in 3rd spot. And Joel's almost on the starboard tack lay line. He's just about to tack. You'll see him on the left of screen there, just tacking. Yep, he's stacked up on the lay line there, and he would hold a nice, comfortable 20-metre lead. Now, Rocco, if you were in the leading boat, do you reckon you could win from here? If you've got one spinnaker run to go?
It's technically top mark, and you're good.
So you reckon you could win?
If you could round the top mark and do everything fast from there in the lead, then you got it.
Well, he did a pretty good job. There's a nice puff rolling down to him, and he's away. He's got a nice lead now.
He's got on the face of that nicely.
Absolutely, got right on the face of that gust as the real battle for 2nd and 3rd. Here we go. There's 3138. They're around with a yellow spinnaker. Then the girls with the pale blue spinnaker, and then right on their heels 3185 with the orange chute. They're jibing. Oh no, yeah, they're jibe set. Okay. So who we got here? Rocco is the orange spinnaker. Oh, they've just got off screen.
Spinnaker. That's Marcus and Daniel there.
Oh, okay, that's Ben sailing the boat today. Okay. Yeah, they dropped out a bit there. Okay. Don't know, they got a bit lost up that beat, perhaps. But it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One or two shifts and you can go from the penthouse to the outhouse. Okay, there's the girls in the distance leading that group.
Yeah.
And there's the leader, Joel Beechel, just jibing. Who's his crew, Matt? Who sails with Joel Beechel?
Logan Radford.
Okay.
And Logan's been with Joel since the Flying Ant, and watching those two race over the years has been great.
All capsized there.
Off camera, we've got a capsize. As we watch the leading group going downwind. First capsize of the day, I think.
Yep.
But it happens, doesn't it? It can always happen.
It skips.
Yeah, one little mistake and it ruins your day.
Yeah.
So these leaders are going round in starboard jibe. They'll jibe before this group of powerboats.
Yeah.
And
very nice jibe there.
The jibe from
the white
these two boats will be coming up there. The purple and the black chutes will be jibing.
That's Jacob and Finn in 3084. They've had a nice little run there. Let's see how Eva and Sabine through. That was a good jibe.
Looks as though Joel Beechel's going to be a comfortable winner. If we're watching this group here, probably 6th, 7th and 8th. It's going to be a good battle for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to say that Beechel has won this quite comfortably. Just seeing the distance there in the blue chute jibing to, we assume, the finish here. Yes, he's across the finishing line. So Joel Beechel first, and then the battle for 2nd. Looks like the girls might have got there, Matt, at the moment.
It looks like they just squeaked in.
They've got their nose in front, although the yellow chute's powering down. Oh, now the girls have got a good gust. They're above. There they go, yellow spinnaker. There they go, yeah. The girls have done a good job. They're about 15 metres from the line. They need the puff. No, the girls will get there.
Here comes Marcus there.
Then the yellow spinnaker. And then, so that's 2nd and 3rd across, and now a really good battle for 4th.
There you go, Marcus and Daniel on the orange spinnaker.
Yep, so is that Ben and Marcus? This is
yeah,
good.
Ben and Marcus with the orange. Well, the white spinnaker's going to do it, I think. The angle of the line, oh, it's
So
gonna be
Jacob,
tight.
Marks and Finn just scraped through there. That,
Yeah, a good battle there. And then other boats coming in on starboard. Wow, it's all happening here.
so that's a really good win for Joel and Logan, Pete. That'll put them in good stead for the series. They missed out the first round. So this is a really good win for them to get them in contention for the series.
And where's their home base? They on the Lake Macquarie?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Up at the lake, which
Okay.
is where we're going next, which will be really good to get out of the harbour and up to Lake Macquarie.
They sell at Slamask, right?
So what age would these crews be, Matt? What's roughly the age of
Age
these boys?
14 to
girls?
16.
Uh-huh. And is there an age limit in this?
There is an age cut-off for Youth Worlds, but for the, from a national point of view, we don't really have a limit. It's really just you're limited by weight at the end of the
Right,
day.
yeah.
And there goes Orlando, Rocco.
Fast. They've changed their name from Foam Fast to Fast.
From Foam Fast.
Yeah, it used to be one of those. They actually had a few of the Foam Fast boats, and they decided to change it to Fast.
Now, Matt, do they have a World Youth Championship in the 29ers? They do, don't they?
We do.
Yeah.
And in April, we're going down to Melbourne for a selection trials for the Youth Worlds. Our top two sailors, Daniel Links and Marcus Sampson, are very much in the box seat for that. But there are probably 10 other young people vying for that position, mate. So it's going to be a great battle in April.
And is it based solely on that regatta, or is it taken throughout the year?
No, that regatta will be a selection trials for the Youth Worlds.
And they're going to be held where and when?
That'll be in, I believe, in July, August in Holland, and there's also another championships in Spain.
Nice.
So hopefully we can all get over there.
Yes. And do they run them concurrently with the 49ers or not? Or are they completely separate?
It's generally separated,
Uh-huh.
but it depends on the time of year and
Few boats left over.
Yeah, still a couple of stragglers coming downwind, mixing it up
Yeah.
with the Finn dinghies that are racing out of the Wallara Sailing Club. But if you
Yeah.
just joined us and wonder what's happening, why we haven't got 18-footers, well, we're bringing you some 29er sailing from some of the stars of the future. We've got the Vycobi 29er GP Regatta, round 2 on Sydney Harbour in a grey old sort of day with a few little rain squalls drifting across the course in a 10-knot south-southeaster. And we're watching some youngsters going through their paces very successfully and highly skilled on these quite high-performance craft. And the 18-footers will come up a bit later. We're probably an hour or about 40 minutes or so from the 18-footers. They've got their 7th heat, I think, of the New South Wales State Championship. And it's very tight on their point score list. But we'll get more of those once we cover their start for the 18-footers. At the moment, we're in Rose Bay, just waiting for the last couple of 29ers to finish. And who's this coming across the line with a blue spinnaker? Who's that?
That's probably the boat that capsized.
Aha, yes, it was a blue spinnaker that capsized, wasn't it?
Yep.
that's Sophie Hart and Bella Devola from Middle Harbour Yacht Club.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah. Yeah, old Dolly. Or young Dolly, should I say. I shouldn't say old Dolly. He'll jump on me for that. And,
Oh, another finish.
and here comes the final finisher. So, Matt's, what's happening now? They're doing a second race, is that
we are.
the
We'll
plan?
do another sprint race. looking at time, I think our RO maybe do 2, but we'll keep close to time. It might be just a 1-lapper.
Okay, well, we've got race 1 done and dusted.
There's still one up there.
Oh, there's still one coming. Wow, he's a long way back. Rocco?
That's probably the one that capsized.
Maybe it is. Another blue spinnaker. He's,
I was having a few spinnaker issues.
yeah, they've got a few little problems. Well, they'll probably have to obviously wait for him to get down, so he's trying to have another capsize. It's a nice big pleasure craft moored up in Rose Bay, just enjoying a Sunday lunch in rather, I wouldn't say bleak, but hardly sunny conditions. As I said earlier, a few rain squalls have come across the course. It's been a very wet and humid Sydney summer, that's for sure. Yet to see a traditional nor'easter, and we're not going to see it today.
Fairly flat conditions for them too, Pete. I think they'll be enjoying this.
Yeah.
And the last few weeks out of Sale Melbourne, it was very choppy and a consistent breeze, which made great racing. But I think they'll be enjoying a little bit of fun and flat water.
And what's the fleet Australia-wide, Matt? How many 29ers would you have in total?
Well, I know in New South Wales we're pushing 35 boats, being the biggest fleet in Australia. I think nationally we're looking at maybe 45 or 50 in total. But all of those aren't all active, all events. So, but again, it's a growing class, supporting all these young sailors that come out of Flying Ants, Opties, Flying 11s, you name it.
Okay, we're just waiting for our last friend to get down to the finish, and the committee boat are flowing a red and white pennant. You know what that means, Rocco?
AP, postponed.
Good boy. You know your flags.
Yeah.
Hey? Good man. So we are on postponement. They're just rearranging the start line, it looks like. Maybe got a gentleman on the anchor doing some adjustments there.
Well, our RO, Chris Atwood, he's a real stickler for a square line. So even in the rib, he'll be wanting to make it perfect.
Well, it's another good volunteer, no doubt, that out there helping these kids, and it's great to see that a lot of fathers out.
I might have an issue on board.
On board what?
On this 29er.
Do you think so? What do you think could be the issue, Rocco?
Well, their main is pretty far out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, maybe they've had a breakage or something. He's just sitting in the boat.
something has happened.
They've got a really good little puff to get down to the finishing line.
So the committee vessel has put down the postponement flag.
Yep. There's our tail end Charlie.
Yep.
He has the main very well eased, but he's across now. So no sooner he finishes, he's getting ready to start again. Because we're race 2 almost underway on the Vicobie 29er GP Regatta, round 2 on Sydney Harbour. And a few yachts coming up from around Steel Point and Manly Yacht Club by the look of it.
Oh, that's a funny yacht.
That is a funny yacht. Forgot to put his headsail up, I think. So, race 2 about to get underway. A bit more breeze now, a little bit spikier, probably 11 or 12 knots in the gusts.
Yeah, just to be it's a good breeze for these guys.
And Matt, there's a cumulative point scorer over all the regattas.
That's right. This is the 29er GP series. We've got a cumulative points. So the people who are most consistent and race every GP will come out well, I think. We've got in total about 28 in the series. So we've got about half the fleet here today.
And where does it go from here? You go to various different clubs after this?
From here we go up to Toronto, and Toronto is one of our new clubs that have a couple of 29ers, so we're going to showcase and give them the opportunity to shine on the lake at beautiful Toronto. and then back here at Wallara Sailing Club for round 4, which will then start our state championships.
And how many races constitute a round? Did they race yesterday?
No. Today's a special round because we're up here with the 18s. So being a special round, we just thought one day's enough, and we'll just enjoy the atmosphere with the Formula 1 18s. So, but normally we would do 2 days of racing, so three the first day and 3 the second day, 6 races overall.
So I think the program today is to do one more race here, and then they're going to wait for the 18s to start. They're going to do a start after the 18s. Is that right? Is that the schedule for this?
That's the
schedule.
Yeah. And they're all really excited about that. We went through our briefing this morning. We talked about starting on the same start line with the 18-footer committee boat and using the flags as their guide, which is new for these guys. They're going to really enjoy that, and most importantly, they're going to be blown away when they see the 18s fire off.
Oh, there's the drone.
Got the drone up, and we're just on the starting line, just southwest of Nielsen Park, Steel Point. Breeze is up here, best breeze we've had all afternoon so far, probably 11 or 12.
Yeah, 10.
What do you think, Rocco?
10s gusting 15, probably.
Yeah, we've got another. Yeah. Unfortunately, we've got another boat capsized, but they get up very quickly. There's no bailing required. The water drains out the back.
Did you do any bailing last week, Rocco, at the Nationals?
Probably too much.
What were you in?
Opti Nationals.
And how did you go, Rocco?
Mid-fleet.
Mid-fleet? Good on you. And you raced that out? Royal Prince Alfred?
No, that one was at Georges River.
Right, but Royal
Sailing
Prince
Club.
Alfred's your club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next Opti Nationals will be there.
Okay, well.
There's Amfast.
Couple of boats, one capsized, and we're getting close to a start. We've got a bit over a minute to go. So this is the 29er, the GP series for the regatta sponsored by Kobe. Getting close now.
Do you reckon we got a bit of tide pushing them over the line, Pete?
Yeah,
well, this time of day?
Could have. Which end are you going for, Rocco? Quickly, you've got to make a quick decision. Midline, okay, that's safe. Oh, there's a capsize almost on the start line.
Oh, that was close.
Eva and Sabine, they're right on the edge there.
Yep.
You'd have to stop the Opti for that one and bail.
Yes, well, there's no bailing in these boats.
Let's play the one thing they need on Optis. 2 holes at the back.
Oh, the boats are coming up on port and tacking to go down the line. I think the pin looks as though it's favoured to me, Rocco. Get down there, get quickly onto port, perhaps. Who knows? Almost there for a start in race 2 today on the harbour of the GP.
I think you're right, Pete.
I think a few people are choosing mid-fleet.
Yes, oh, there's one that's over, 3188. He's got to tack and go back. Oh, good start. They're away. No, there's an individual recall.
The one that was from the pin end was over.
Oh, well, that's Eva and Stella. Well, the guy that just put the recall flag up is Eva's dad.
Oh, right, good on him. Oh, well, no favouritism there. Good on him. Okay, they're all quickly on port. And yeah, there's a few blokes missed the start. They were finding it hard to cross the line on starboard. You have to get down there, get on port as quick as you can. And the leaders are steaming off now on port in towards Shark Island. Good breeze. Another rain squall coming down the over the Royal Sydney Golf Club, which is always a good guide of what the breeze is going to do. And the breeze, we've got about 12 knots here, a few little spikes in the breeze.
Bit of traffic there for Joel Beechel and Logan Radford.
Yeah, there's the yacht's
Well
got
done,
a regatta
Joel.
on.
Kept his composure through there.
He'll figure something
And
out.
that's Joel Beecham with that logo on the sail. He was the winner of the first race today, and he's certainly in the leading group as they're going in on port tack to Shark Island. Nice breeze coming down to this leading group. And Matt, the sails, are they one design?
They are, Pete.
Well, Matt, what about the flat top? Is that changing it?
That is still, that's different from the other sails, Rocco. It's made from the same manufacturer, but one day we might see them all look like that.
Okay, well, these leaders are coming into Shark Island where they've got the best breeze of the day here. It's probably 13 knots, and they're really starting to rumble
nice
here.
puff off the island here, Pete.
Yes, is Joel Beecham. He won't be leading. There's a couple of boats that have climbed out to windward of him a little, but he'll be pretty close to the lead. And the boats that have gone left look pretty good way up in the distance. They're pretty high on port tack. But anyway, we'll stick with the first round winner. Oh, he had to, a little ducking and weaving there. The 3014 had to duck a fin, which put him a bit closer to Joel Beecham. But no, Joel Beecham looks pretty good, I think, standing out on starboard. The boats that up on high on port, they look okay as well. So it'll be interesting when they get closer to the top mark. Who do you favour here, Rocco? The boats that went left or right?
Well, I think the boats that went left will have a better, they'll have a quicker area to the top mark.
I think they look all right, those boats. And one of the boats, I think, is the square top mainsail. It looks to be close to the lead.
Yeah, it looks like the breeze rotated a little bit over there for them.
It did. As it's quite spiky again, this breeze now, to a good 12 knots plus. And they're clearly in the lead, the boats that went left early.
Yeah, that pin end was the go. Maybe they didn't have as much traffic. I noticed the yacht stayed over in this side.
Okay, race 2, we're halfway up the beat of the first leg. Fair bit of traffic on the harbour now of the yachts racing. A bit of ducking and weaving, but there's a good shot of the fleet.
A little bit of pressure coming over the hill with this little touch of rain.
Yeah. 14 boat fleet.
Might get there before they get to the top mark. Here's Eva Atwood and Stella Wesley.
Where's their home club, Matt?
Royal Prince Alfred.
Uh-huh.
A few boats have chosen to go wide. We'll see how that goes.
Looks like Eva's going to the lay line.
Yes, I think she's just waiting for 2.
And there's Ellis Merritt and Josh Poulsen. Now, Ellis isn't with his normal team today. Ellis being one of our top sailors in the state. He's joined with Josh Poulsen. He's a new crew.
Oh, I think what's happened here, the girls, or the cruiser went right towards the end. The breeze has gone left even more. It's really favoured the boats out on the left-hand side of the course. And those that got pinned in the right have really...
So I think Hugo with
punished.
the flat top main will have a good race at this.
They're really putting the 29er Sea Rig through its paces, Rocco, so maybe they've learned how to sail this boat.
Yeah.
There's a big left rotation there. You can see the leader with the square top main. He's just... Is he laying that mark? He's pretty close to it, I think. Yes, he'll lay it.
Right on it. Look at Joel flying through here.
Yeah.
Not off camera at the moment, but when you'll see him get to the top mark, they're really flying through.
So the leader is around. And who's the crew there? Matt, who we got in the
So
square
that's
top?
Charlie Johnson and Hugo Butterworth.
That's your bloke, is it?
That's correct.
Okay, we'll keep our eye on him.
Good on them. They've worked hard. I think they figured it out the first race and maybe
Yep.
given it a better run this time.
Good stuff. Okay, so 2239 goes round in third. And then in fourth will
So
be
that's Lewis
Joel
Tilley
Beecham.
from Middle Harbour Yacht Club.
Okay, Joel Beechel with that circle insignia on the sail, the blue chute. Appliances Online, the sponsor there, a good sponsor of the 18-footers. And then the girls around.
Oh,
There's
there we go.
a big group now coming round, but they're running up, most of them running away on starboard jibe. No one has jibed yet. Bit of traffic coming up that they've got to negotiate their way around.
Yeah, the right-hand side really suffered. They really suffered on that right-hand side of Shark Island, Pete.
So we're envisaging a two-lapper again. So we're halfway down the first Spinnaker run of this second heat of the round 2 of the Vycobi 29er GP Regatta on Sydney Harbour in Rose Bay. It's the designated area. We've seen some of the great sailing from these stars of tomorrow.
We've got our first few jibes there, so the boys have gone left it a bit late.
So that's the leading group in the distance with the black Spinnaker is the race leader. They're getting pretty close to the leeward mark. They've got probably one jibing in.
2688. It's Ellis Merritt and Josh Poulsen. Here they go.
The
This is the
purple
first time
Spinnaker.
these guys have sailed together.
They're doing pretty well.
They're not too
Their
bad.
first time.
Perry.
Lovely jibe, nice and clean. As the rain starts to tumble down on Rose Bay. Is just round the leeward mark, and hot on his tail is 3084.
That's Jacob Marks and Finn. So that's Ryan Ewing's normal pairing. So they're right into the hunt with Hugo and Charlie. To get...
Oh, there'll be some action here at this mark. There's a really good squall.
There might be a bit of traffic with those two orange Spinnaker boats coming down to the mark.
There's, we'll see them in a moment, but there's Joel Beechel going round in 4th spot. And this rain is bringing a bit of wind with them. It's quite spiky, 14 perhaps knots.
Very smooth job.
There's Tyler Dransfield and Jamie Stoddard through. That was a really good run for them. They got caught up before.
You can see those Spinnakers just disappearing into the bow. Yep, they're very tidy, very tidy.
All very polite around the bottom marks, I found.
Oh, the black Spinnaker, that's... Matt, for those that are watching and might not be familiar with the 29ers, just talk to us how they do drop the Spinnaker.
So the Spinnaker halyard and the retrieve line is in one piece. And on the drop, they'll just pull it out of the cleat and pull it through, and it gets sucked into a chute. So the crew will jump in and start pulling that in pretty quick, and if it goes in clean, it comes out nice and clean at the top.
I actually have a feeling that boat, that Chinese jibe just capsized before.
So there's a retrieving line, Matt, that pulls it into the
That's right.
the chute.
It's a continuous retrieve line that's connected to the halyard, so it's one up and one down. Really, really efficient and very simple. One rope will do the whole job.
Yeah. Old mate here, he's in a bit of trouble. These girls here have got a bit of a snafu. You can't go upwind with the Spinnaker up, can you, Rocco, do you think?
You'll stall.
Yeah, more than stall. Okay, well,
I've seen you sail pretty high and you're flying out with your Spinnaker, Rocco.
Okay, we're back on the fleet for the final beat of race 2. And the leader was the Square Top Mainsail boys. First time out.
Hugo and... Wait,
Charlie.
Yeah, Hugo and Charlie.
Hugo and Charlie. Good on them. Got used to the setup by the look of it. Went the right way up the first beat, which is always pretty important. They went in the left, got the little left shift. A couple of the leading group pretty close to Shark Island, looking for a right-hander to come back on.
They want starboard rights.
That's right, you come back on starboard, you got pretty powerful run of the course.
Yeah.
Sydney skyline in the background. It's rain is cleared at the moment.
Looks like Joel Beechel's caught up a fair way off Shark Island too. Maybe the right paid off a little bit better this time.
Yes, he's got himself up, certainly amongst the place getters, I would think, at this stage. He's in 3rd spot. It's him coming across on starboard. Oh, there's 2 boats on starboard now.
There's Lewis Tilley from Middle Harbour Yacht Club on the port ley line. Looks like they've caught up a bit. The biggest challenge for Hugo and Charlie would be the difference in weight for that boat today, because they're not used to a really light rig like that carbon rig.
Yeah.
Are the pin top mains, what's their rig? Is that a carbon rig as well?
No, they're all aluminium.
All alloy, okay.
Yep.
Oh, well, that would be a big difference.
How long has Hugo and Charlie been using the carbon rig?
This is their first time.
Oh, okay.
First time in Australia, first time everywhere.
And how long did it take to design the carbon rig and sail?
Oh, well, our friends over in CSC Carbon have been doing it a long time, so learning a lot from the 18-footers, Rocco. All that development, from 18-footers goes into our other skiffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the 3 leaders. And Joel Beechel's wriggled his way away from the group to get himself into 3rd. And they're about 100 metres shy of the weather mark.
It looks like Jacob Marks and Finn have really worked their way up to Charlie and Hugo.
So that's 3084, is it?
That's right,
yeah.
3084.
Well, after the conclusion of this race, we'll be going straight into the 18-footers. And if you're watching now, we'll be just wrapping up this 29er GP event shortly, and then we'll go to the 18s for the 7th heat of the state championship. And it's very close on the point score there, and we'll bring the point score and the results to you of a couple of interesting facts over the weekend, during the week, but as the leaders approaching the
It's going to be close.
So it's very close here. The boys have maintained the lead.
That's a great bear away by the boys. Up they go. Great hoist from Jacob. Really nice hoist. You can see that acceleration with a quick hoist.
In the background, Joel Beechel's struggling to get round this mark. He was very tight on the ley line, so he's 3rd. He was the
Barely rounded it.
He was the first heat winner. And just the run back now towards Steel Point to the finish. They're the 2 leaders. Oh, the white chute's got in front of the black chute.
Yep, that was a really good acceleration of the top mark, Peter, and they took off. And an early hoist.
Another group coming round now. This is the group in about
So there
5th,
goes
6th and
Eva and
7th.
Sabine getting through there. And here comes Caitlin, Hartnett and Stella. Off they go, boat ropes. Let's see how they go. It's like the breeze has softened a bit here, Pete.
Yes, it's lifted these guys on starboard jibe too, so they're a lot higher than they were in the first run down here.
Well, look at the depth that Joel's got down the bottom of the fleet. I know we're not down there yet, but this is a real tussle down there.
Yes, the breeze has really dropped down, and
Yeah.
so it's a race in 3, I think, for these
Here is
second heat.
Here's Hugo and Daniel. Wait. Ah.
Just watching the finish to this 29er race before we jump into the 18-footer race for their 7th heat of the state title. So if you're joining us just now, don't panic. We'll be bringing the 18-footers to you shortly. We're just watching some of the maybe 18-foot skiff sailors of the future racing these 29ers in Rose Bay. The breeze is right down again now. Be lucky to be 10 knots. And it's a day that the 18-footers are going to have their big rigs on, which will be a first time for a long while that we've seen them in big rig mode. As we speak, there's an 18-foot skiff, the mighty Birkenhead Point Marina, and Andu in the background. So they're just going upwind, testing their rig before they run back to the start, which will be in over near Bradley's Head. They'll be on the southeaster course, I think. And they'll be starting in Taylor's Bay.
And a very close finish here with these 3 boats.
It is going to be close, this finish, indeed. Blue, white and black. Who's going to get there? There's still about 100 metres downwind of the finish. Joel Beechel jibes. Black Spinnaker's across both of them.
Better get
On starboard tack rights, he's got to get his jibe right here. There's not much breeze. The other two have got a bit of pressure.
Get around, boys. Got to do it now.
Yeah, the Black Spinnaker.
They've missed the boat there, mate.
Missed the cue, I think, there. But the pin end is certainly favoured.
Well, Jacob Marks and Finn there, that's a great job. And Joel has worked through the top group this afternoon to get that.
Oh, it's going to be tight. The Black Spinnaker's got no rights. They've got to go behind the both of them. The White Spinnaker will do it, yes.
Right. So, well done. Well
White,
done, Jacob.
blue
well
and
done,
black.
Jacob.
Nice.
So, sorry, again, the crew on the winning boat, Matt was?
So Jacob Marks and Finn. So Finn's come in to replace Ryan Ewings, who's unfortunately home with COVID, and he's probably watching. And good on you, mate. The boat's got through, so you got the points.
Yeah, great. And Joel Beechel's second, so he's had a first and a second. And sky clearing away to the south, so the breeze has drifted away a little bit as the remaining of the 29ers come downwind to the finish, and they've done their second race, and their third race will be after the 18-footers get away. So a great experience for these boys and girls to out here mixing it with the 18-footers, who are due to start in about 15 minutes' time.
This has been incredible, Pete. The kids, or the young people were very, very excited this morning, and just to be out here with the 18s and with Sal Media has just been amazing. really, really thank you guys. And a big shout out to Vycobi and our other sponsors, Deck Hardware. It's been a great support so far this year.
Well, great.
Looking forward to race 3.
Yes, terrific. Well, Matt and Rocco, it's been great having you to talk us through all this. A very exciting time and for all these youngsters out there, and exciting for everyone. I think that we can see these boats performing so well and so skillfully. And who knows, in a few years' time we might be watching these guys and girls out here and racing the 18-footers or certainly in other classes. So, Matt, we wish you well with your presidency of the Niner Association with the 29ers and 49ers. So thank you for your time. Hope you've enjoyed it. Rocco, thank you for you. Good luck with your sailing.
Thanks, Peter.
Well, good afternoon from a rather grey Sydney Harbour. And once again, we're breezes in the southerly sector, that's for sure. And for the 7th heat of the New South Wales Championship for the 18-foot skiffs, breeze in south-southeast at probably 10 knots at best, maybe a little bit more in the spikes, but definitely a big sail day for the 18s, which is a first for a long, long while. I'm Peter Shipway, and along with Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, we'll be your host today for this stream brought to you by Sail Media. And we have a pretty exciting race, I would think. We've got a good fleet out and a few changes in crews and skippers, which we'll bring to you shortly. But let's say good afternoon to Andrew Buckland. Good afternoon, Andrew, and the weather, please.
G'day, Pete. Well, as you've noted, pretty overcast and onshore pattern driven by high east of Tasmania that's been pretty much stopped for the best part of a week, and a low east of Lord Howe Island, about 600 miles maybe from Sydney. Just sort of moderate southeasterly flow with a little enhancement on the front of each little rain cell. Very hot water offshore in the harbour here, according to our instruments, just under 22 degrees. Offshore still up around 26, 27, so driving a fair bit of evaporation and hence some little rain cell activity, which would be expected to affect the race course fairly significantly over the hour and a half of the course length.
Okay, well, Jimmy, we're once again on the southeasterly course, start in Taylor Bay, and all the skiffs on their big rigs, which will be interesting to see. Just run us through the course for those that may not be familiar with it.
Okay, Pete. Yeah, today's course southeast, so we start down here in Taylor's Bay, work our way right up into Rose Bay, then the long run down to Robertson Point, so that's heading back towards the Harbour Bridge. Then a work back up to Clark Island, a run down to Chowder Bay, which is the next bay over from where we're starting. Then back up to Rose Bay, down to Taylor's Bay, which is where the start is, back to Rose Bay, down to Robertson Point, and then to the finish. Bit of a backwards and forwards figure of 8, upside down.
Yeah, well,
Depending which way you're looking in the mirror.
Exactly, but it gets the race distance.
Yeah. But Pete, I think it's going to be pretty good stuff today. All the boys, anticipating, conditions perhaps lightening as the season gets on, which is pretty typical. So this is the first good test for the big rig, and enough variety, I think, that they'll be, towards the bottom of the range on occasion and towards the top of the range on occasion. So it'll be pretty good. And, most of the fleet now actively in the practice mode and the new sails out of the bags mode kind of thing in preparation for the Australians in a couple of weeks. So we're on faces on.
8th. We're in the 7th heat of 8. The final heat next week can drop your worst performance. So while we're waiting for them to start, we might have a look at the point score. And
Shit's camera.
at the moment, we've got the old veteran, or not, is old and veterans. You can use that, can you? Or a veteran or old?
A veteran.
An old veteran, that'll do me. John Winning in Yandu with Fang Warren and Mike Kennedy. They are leading with 10 points. And in second place is Tech 2, Jack McCartney, on 14 points. Noakes Sailing is third on 20 points. That's after discarding your worst performance. Shaw and Partners fourth. Fisher Paykel fifth. And Rag and Famish sixth. Now, Andrew, talk to us regarding Tech 2. We mentioned last week that there may have been infringement with some sail measurement or using a sail when they shouldn't have. Just talk us through what's happened there and what the result of all of that has been.
Well, they had a problem with a new sail, which they were required to have registered and use, and therefore delete the alternative sail from the inventory. And for some reason, the sail was incomplete as it arrived from the loft, and they couldn't use it, and so they used their old sail. And they didn't have much choice in the matter because, the new sail, couldn't be fitted on the headstone, is my understanding. And so the committee, has to impose some kind of penalty, and the agreement was that would be 4 points, and the Tech 2 boys just accepted that on the spot and said, we won't go to the room, that's okay, there's not much we can do about it. So that is just added to they won the fourth heat. And so instead of scoring 1 point, they've now got 5.
And as a consequence, they're now 4 points adrift of Yandu on the points table. So last week we saw Tech 2 win. Yandu was second, but both Andu and Tech 2 were over the... Sorry, Andu and Smeg were over the line at the start. So although they finished 1-2 on the water, they were subsequently registered as OCS, so didn't figure on the point score. But that was last week. Today we've got this week. It's 3 minutes 50 to go, and one significant change on Andu. Sevi Jarvan is out, and Dave Gilmore comes in as the skipper on Andu. So a big test, as you said, Andrew, for all these boys on their big rig. We've rarely seen big rig this year. We've not seen a nor'easter, but we've got 3 minutes 30 to go here. And what do we like the starting line? What are you thinking here, Andrew?
Well, Peter,
good look at it.
We didn't quite mention in the lead up, but the tide is ebb, and so I think you need to get on a board tack and get to the stream and coming around Bradley's Head. We've noted from, we've been out here covering the 29er racing earlier, and breeze left to right, maybe plus minus 15, depending exactly if there's a rain squall or not. And I think that you can't sail downstream here, Pete. You have to sail upstream on port, okay? And the line, it looks pretty cool to me, so if the breeze stays where it is now, and it's in the right at the moment, so it's high right, so we'd expect to start on the starboard and then maybe just wait a little, get out to the stream a bit and perhaps tack on the first good puff. We've noted previously when the start line is here that there's some tendency for the wind to lift off the water surface as it gets near the lee shore. And that's indeed the case today, quite a bit less wind at the start line than there is, 300 yards upwind. So. Yeah,
but looking upwind, the sky's clearing and it looks quite good pressure up near Shark Island, Rose Bay area where the mark is. We've just over 2 minutes to go. So, Jimmy, left or right?
I'm going up the middle, Pete, because you went bad. You went bad on me last.
You're going to hit Shark Island.
I'll go left. I'll go left.
Andrew?
I think they've got to get fairway right, actually, Pete. Just subject to any rain squall event. There you go.
Okay, all right. That's good. Well, I'll tell you which way I'm going to go when we get to the weather mark.
That's right, Peter. The hindsight escape's going really well. Right?
145.
The right of left.
Yeah.
I know Woody, he's been liking the right every time, and he's been successful for him.
Yep.
1 minute 35 to go. We're all stacked up, all on big rigs. So this will be a good test. And Smeg, Tech 2 and Andu were the 3 boats that did very well last week, along with Yandu. And remembering that Andu is skippered by David Gilmore today.
Yeah, so Pete at the windward end here, Smeg and Tech 2 well up towards the boat. Just coming into 1 minute. Yes, Smeg.
1 minute, certainly a hooter and a half. And there's the fleet. Not much wind here, but a bit fresher as we go up the track. But as Andrew was saying, it's probably lifted off a bit here in Taylor Bay. They want this pin end, the boat end, that's for sure.
Yep,
Tech 2 fighting hard for it.
Doing a good job of occupying the real estate, that's for sure.
35 seconds.
Pretty hard to sail these boats that slowly, but they're making a pretty good fist of it.
Yep. Jack McCartney on the Tech 2. Behind him, Marcus Ashley Jones and the Lazarus Capital Partners, and also Yandu. Okay, down at this pin end, his appliances online, and the 18-footer. Bar and restaurant, 5, 3, 2, 1, go. And
be an individual recall, I think.
General.
That's a general. Okay, general recall. And certainly looked like the committee boat end was favoured, I would think. Andrew, looking at a quick look at the fleet.
Yeah.
Finport was well advanced then. Well advanced.
Well, a boat length well advanced, yeah.
So we do it all again.
All right.
For the 7th heat of the state championships, the 18-footers, a southeasterly breeze or south-southeasterly breeze. Not much breeze here at the starting line. And the boats will come back after the general recall. This long beat up into Rose Bay.
Good look. Give us a good look at the leech twist, Jimmy, for Yandu and Tech 2 there. Quite a big difference, yeah?
Massive difference.
Yep. I would say an impressive amount of difference.
So what's the scuttlebutt from the park, Andrew? You've been grazing in the park? What do we know?
Most of the guys who aren't here today are COVID affected, so there's a bunch of those. Everybody got their new sails out of their bags, I think, more or less. One little tidbit from last week, Peter, the boys on the Rag and Famish thought the boat, their spinnaker worked better with a rip in it than without it.
So they kept it for this week?
I think they're going for a bit of recut along with a repair, mate. Yes.
Okay, well, the fleet, some of them still going in towards Nielsen Park. It is a general recall, so they've got to do it all over again. And Bow is a bloke that knows a bit about 18-footer sailing, I'd say. Your old skipper, Andrew, Ian Murray.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two.
Down with all his mates.
Yeah.
Where are all his mates? You got one bloke, hey? Was he lost friends, has he? Okay, Hooters are going.
AP down.
AP is down. There's Tech 2.
No, Ian's never needed a big crowd. He's a bit of a, mildly taciturn fellow, as you're well aware.
He's got a boat you could put the army on, but anyway.
Yeah, the old youth tender for the IACC boat days.
I know he's been doing a bit of work with the Andu team, and his old mate Peter Gilmore's son's on the stick of Andu today, Dave Gilmore.
Yep. And it might be pretty interesting. I think that,
They were pretty quick last week, weren't they? Notwithstanding they broke the start, but they were
absolutely
very quick upwind. And
yeah, so this will be good. Notes without their new boat, but with their new rig, effectively. Tech 2 with new sails, Andu with their new rig. And Yandu been setting the boat speed pace thus far with new sails and mast with the help of Nick Daly and Michael Carter. So Smeg perhaps the least renewed.
And the I flag is up.
Round as it ends, Peter.
And
as it ends.
We're watching Smeg, Michael Coxon, the defending JJ champion. And there's, in the foreground is Lazarus Capital Partners. And there's Smeg, Ricky Bridge and Zach Barnabas, along with Coco, Michael Coxon. And the breeze still not anything great here, is it?
And
sky clearing, though, in the south.
A fair bit of turbulence about to arrive in the course area from the big Manly Ferry and a big powerboat that just went past, which can be surprisingly persistent.
Should hopefully get away. If we get away cleanly, we'll get past the James Craig coming inbound.
Yep. A fully restored James Craig coming up the harbour, indeed.
Okay, we're on our second attempt at starting. General recall in the first attempt. 7th heat of the state 18-footers in a southeasterly breeze, probably south-southeast, and not of great strength here at the starting line.
Yeah, it's very south-southeast at the present, isn't it?
Yeah.
High right, as we say.
Royal Oak, 4 Pines. Had lunch at the Royal Oak yesterday, Andrew. It was very, very enjoyable.
Thanks for the invite, Peter.
It was you could have come. It was a girl's birthday.
Oh, right, okay.
You would have gone well there, Bucker.
Yeah, right.
Very enjoyable lunch.
No, it's a good spot.
So did you race the 18s yesterday?
Yeah, we sailed the mighty Yendies in the historic fleet.
With success?
With a good degree of success, Peter.
New sheet hand making life easy for you, Bucko.
Oh, absolutely.
Who was the new sheet hand?
Well, Matty Coleman, he's sailed the first 2 heats.
Right.
Since the Australian title.
Is he strong enough?
He's the only bloke with bet that is, yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
Was the Admiral, Donnie Buckley, with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So you had 2/3 of the famous Colour 7 team, eh? Yourself and
was a good
Donnie?
day out. Poor Woody put the wrong rig in again, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Gee, not like him.
Well, he went out with second rig last week and there was not enough wind and his crew wouldn't let him put the second rig in yesterday.
He wouldn't like that.
No.
Has he got fangs sailing on that as well?
No.
or-
He got his old gang back together, more or less.
People he can really yell at.
That's right.
Okay, but anyway, we're on moderns. 18s today in southeasterly breeze.
So 2 minutes, Pete. Everybody, be more careful.
Got to be a bit more careful this time. Got a full fleet out today, which is good. There's a skipper change on the 18-footer bar and restaurant. James Francis comes in for Pedro Vazzoni. And Dave Gilmore, as we said earlier, on the helm of Andu in place of Sevi Jarvan.
So Pete, looking upwind now, breeze best on the right edge and high right. So I think the fleet might get a bit congested up towards the boat. And the tide is a factor. Quite a good amount of flow, ebb.
Good to see Noakes sailing back in action. They broke their topmast backstay last week when in a handy position, and they've been very consistent throughout the year.
Yeah, so talking to them this morning, they will have their new boat
Couple of
ready
weeks'
for the
time.
first heat of the Nationals.
Right, okay, well, that will be very interesting.
Yep.
A lot of people are waiting to see that boat.
And weigh it, and weigh it.
And weigh it, okay. We'll stay away
Amongst
from all
other
of that.
things.
Okay, we're under a minute. Under a minute. Here comes Keegan York flying in the fin port.
I'm not sure that's the right way to
Well,
address
no,
it.
he's got to go the other way, Keegan, but anyway, I'm sure he'll sort himself out. Okay, now, Yandu down at the pin. That's interesting. He likes this right-hand side, so he's going to struggle to go right from there.
In the last 10 seconds here.
Also, Lazarus Capital Partners down there. Okay, here we go. Foots are down. 3, 2, 1, go. I think clear.
Wow. I think the committee's been generous.
They're all clear. It's all clear.
Wow. Tech 2 perfect at the boat end. Absolutely.
Very good start, Tech 2.
Absolutely spot on.
Okay, now there's Yandu. Gee, he's going to have to take some sterns if he wants to get to the right.
Yeah.
And that's what oh, dear, he's dead and buried. But he's been dead and buried before this year in Yandu, and he's come good. But there's the Lazarus having to take a lot of sterns as well. So definitely a committee boat end there, Andrew.
Yep.
Definitely.
And he's just got to figure out what to do with the square rigger in the background. And
There's a bit of breeze coming in as the sky
so
clears.
just the front edge of a little bit of action here. You'd expect that he would get on the other tack, perhaps up in line with the James Craig, but
Smeg's handily placed as well, just a leeward of Tech 2.
and Andu in the mix also. The centre of the line, from the centre of the line. He goes a duty here off the James Craig.
And okay, well that's the James Craig in the background, and they're probably the two leaders, Tech 2 and Smeg. Fleet majority going away on starboard towards Steel Point, Nielsen Park. A few going right, which includes Yandu as you'd expect, which is like that all this year. And there's Tech 2 and Smeg. They're probably close to the lead. And we've got Noakes sailing, I think. She looks as though she's got a second rig in. Would I be right in saying that, Andrew?
No.
It's not Jim. No, it's not. It's big rig, is it? Okay. Anyway, we'll concentrate. There he is. He's got no sail insignia. It just looked, his rig looked a bit small to me, but anyway. That's Sean Langman.
So the breeze has now sort of gone back to neutral.
Yeah,
left
good
versus right.
He's got some good pressure coming down around the bow of that yacht without a headsail, as you can see.
Yeah.
There's a fleet of J70s come across the 18-footer fleet, but they're all on port. But a good bit of pressure coming down after the start. It's up about 3 or 4 knots. So race 7 of the 18-footers, state championship.
So Sean's mates are looking like it needs some slightly stiffer buttons. But that puff they're in now is the strongest bit of wind we've seen all day today,
yes.
isn't it? But it has turned right back to the right a little again now, so interesting.
So this will be a two-ply mainsail he's got that he's been working on.
Yeah, the two-ply setting up, I think, to the bottom batten only, Pete. Just to clean up the aero around the boom, basically.
So the leading bunch are all standing into Steel Point. From the right, we've got Tech 2, Smeg, Birkenhead Point, Andu. Then
And the Rag and Famish making a pretty good fist of it also.
And a bit of inversion on the mainsail of Noakes.
Yeah,
Good spiky wind here at Steel Point.
he's maybe just a bit hard on the dip sheet. I don't know. Joshy likes to sheet him hard, Pete. Probably luff curve on the mainsail's not exactly right, I suspect, but
anyway, they'll have to bail out shortly. There they go on the Noakes.
good stuff. And the Rag.
Rag done a good job.
Close to the lead, yep. But Andu probably leads, Pete.
Harry Price at the helm, and he's going back on port. Birkenhead Point just coming around the stern. He's done a good job. They had a great race last week.
Perhaps Tech 2 leads, eh?
Yes, Tech 2 leads. Rag and Famish got to take a couple of sterns. Andu will come out on port, going right into the shore. There he goes now. And he will not cross Smeg.
But everybody's got back on the
tack.
port.
Okay, well, Andu's... Well, they've all tacked, and that's given a bit of a runway for Andu. So there's a big split again, as we often see in this course, isn't there? Some have gone hard right, some have gone as far to the left as they can.
So just a good look at Andu's depth and twist there. Looks pretty nice, the mainsail now. Oh, and Andu's had to do a big bear away to go behind.
Royal Oak, okay, and the Rag.
So that's the best first beat the Royal Oak's had this year, I think, Peter, isn't it?
Yeah, Aaron Everett, Rob Bell, and Reece Goldsmith today in the crew. And really nice pressure here, Andrew, at Steel Point, isn't it?
Yep.
Really good.
Bit of funnel and bit of tide relief on this edge, so it's just a little bit different to usual today, I suppose.
Jimmy, don't put us ashore here. I know you've seen a few friends on the rocks that you know, but anyway, back to the racing. Oh, not the greatest of tacks on the Royal Oak, but anyway, they're good. Rag and Famish looks strong, going right into the shore here at...
Yeah, it seems to be building some confidence on that boat, Pete.
Well, they did well just before Christmas, and solid again last week.
And they're putting the hours in, so, you know, not like they're lacking talent, are they? It's like... Let's see. So, a whole lot of fleet done the conventional sort of thing.
So that's Noakes
Youth.
Yep.
Slightly wobbly tack, but good enough.
Yeah.
So, a long way to the right-hand edge boats now from here where we are. We're travelling alongside more or less Finport and Noakes Youth.
So a massive split. Yandu and Lazarus Capital Partners, they're the two leading boats from the group that have gone right. And to me, they've looked okay up there, Andrew. They look okay.
Well,
but anyway, a long way to go to this weather mark. Very, very good pressure here on this fleet that have gone into Rose Bay that went left early. See Noakes Youth there on the right of screen, Birkenhead Point Marina. Tim Westwood, Alex Chitterton and Will Dargaville.
They had a cracker last week. They won on handicap.
Yeah, they're going behind Finport, which is Keegan York. He ended up going the right way. So
anyway, Rag's leading this group. I think Rag might almost be leading the race, Pete. Almost. Uncertain as yet, but...
Harry Price certainly knows how to sail. Harry does. Okay, there's the Rag and Famish, the two hotels, the Royal Oak and the Rag and Famish.
They always seem to sail together, don't
Yes.
they? Just need the burrowing.
Where's the Burrowing? I haven't seen him today.
Nooney's just got to get up with them.
So the guys that went out to the right have lost a little, Peter, I think. And
Oh, jeez, no, I
the
don't know about
Yandu's
that.
come.
You can just see Yandu coming
yeah,
around
there's
the
Yandu.
right now.
Corner, yeah.
And the Lazarus was in front of him, so I don't know where Marcus has ended up.
He's just coming around there now.
Oh, he's
Yep.
up to windward, yeah, okay. They haven't lost out that much. You think Yandu was nearly last at the starting line. He took all those
Yeah,
stands.
so perhaps they've worked out all right.
Yeah.
They're right.
Yeah,
It's a conventional thing, really, now.
I said that's the way to go, Andrew. You know that. I said you've got to go right.
That's right. Anyway, good battle here in the middle of the fleet.
Yes.
Andu and Tech 2. Lovely stuff. Separated by about 60 metres. And Andu just in front of Tech 2. Good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm putting my money on Yandu. Oh, no, maybe Marcus in the Lazarus could be leading. He's up off the hip of Yandu.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
There's the tack on. That's Noakes sailing without the sail insignia. It's Tech 2. Jack McCartney, Charlie White, and Lewis Brake. And Andu with Dave Gilmore, Sam Newton, and Matt Stetter.
Andu well up to the lay line here, and I've taken a bit of risk sailing in behind the big power boat. But they'll lay from there.
They've got some good pressure coming down to them. As you'll see,
Go
Smeg
behind the Smeg.
getting in front of them with starboard tacks, rights. And,
Oh, now Anders it might be underlaid.
Yes.
Have to bear away.
and I think Yandu will lead. There you go, Andrew. Yandu to lead. He'll tack on the bow of Rag and Famish, who'll be second, just ahead of the Lazarus. There's go Yandu. There you go. He's on fire, the old fella. Again, oh, not the greatest attacks. Oh,
Not quite on fire, Peter.
no, semi on fire.
Good enough.
Smouldering.
Rag second, Lazarus third, and away they go. Downwind, who's the first to set? Royal Oak will be fourth.
And the Lazarus with no bang on at all.
No, not at all.
Lazarus must have broken their bang, Pete, looking at that.
Looks like it, doesn't it? Anyway, Royal Oak, he's around in fourth spot. Aaron Everett, and then Andu. Oh, look at the Royal Oak. Oh, he's in a ripper. Andu, then Smeg's around. No spinnakers set yet.
And that tells you how far right the breeze is. Two sailing all the way to the top of the island.
Okay, they're the spinnakers coming out now. Rag and Famish and Yandu. And
I think Tech 2 might attack this a bit, Pete.
yeah, there's a bit of drama going on at the weather mark. Noakes goes round. Oh, there's a capsize here. Shaw and Partners, our old mates, they like to give him a start. Certainly giving them a start, almost capsized at the weather mark. LV coming in. There's Balmain Slake. And the leaders are all off now. All got spinnakers set.
Just go around them, Jimmy.
Well, I go left, he goes left, he goes right, I go right.
Pull up the course.
So next, Marks at Robertson Point, and at the moment, no one would be laying it. They're lucky to be laying Bradleys, but they're all hanging on to their spinnakers. Yandu was the leader at the weather mark. The Rag leads now, Pete. I think the Rag is got his purple spinnaker in front. He's up to windward of Yandu. Lazarus, Capital Partners, Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison in third spot. And then a bit of a gap to Andu and then Smeg. Royal Oak, Four Pines and then Tech 2, which we're on there now. So the boats that certainly went right did okay, but the Royal yellow, the rag and famish went left, so it's pretty even split, I think. Now they're all just comfortably laying Bradleys. There's looks like Andrews could be a VMG run, couldn't it? Once they get round Bradley's, perhaps. Just depends where the mark is. There's Bradley's head. It's Yandu's just going past Bradley's. And laid that quite easily at the end of the day.
Big bit of wind coming down behind them too, Pete, so might get pretty interesting this bit here.
Harry Price, Josh McKnight, Harry Hall on the rag. They're currently in 6th place on the point score. They won the 5th heat.
So looks like they'll be full pressure to the mark to make Pete without a jibe. But things can change. There's certainly more wind behind, isn't there?
Yeah, the middle Charlies are bringing a bit of pressure down with them. Just drifting up now to the rag. It's very comfortable there.
Cruising, mate, cruising.
Their sponsors out today watching on his boat. Pete Calligris is out here.
Yeah,
A long time family support of the 18-footers, the Calligris family.
pretty happy with what he's seeing at the moment.
Nice pub in North Sydney too, Pete.
Yeah.
We'll have to sample that one too.
Yeah, another free lunch coming up for you, Bucko.
I think the rag's just worked out where this bottom mark is, Bucko. When you pointed it out, it's normally a little bit further into the point, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they are pretty hard to see. You know, the orange mark with a sort of white band on it against sandstone background is not ideal.
Perfect, isn't it?
So, okay, there's Yandu at full wick and Lazarus also at full wick.
The two righties.
Yeah, they're dropping now to get up to this mark.
Lazarus now pulling it off and Andu coming on a smoker, Pete, behind him.
They'll all have to drop to get up to this mark now. It's quite a bit higher than I thought. So there's Yandu dropping, and there's Andu also dropping. And
They come right back into it.
there's the 18-footer.
Having the race of their life.
Yeah, with the yellow chute powering down. And all the boats are well to leeward of this leeward mark.
Yeah.
So Rag will lead just with from Yandu. And
Lazarus might actually beat Yandu here, sure.
yeah, he might. Yes, Lazarus is coming in from a bit higher, a bit of yelling, which is you expect. Here we go, is the Rag and Famish leads.
Polite request for boy room, Peter, it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, Lazarus around next. Oh, what a screamer. Andu, then Yandu. Okay, all got the job done. Then Smeg will be next.
Good stuff.
And then a Tech 2.
Oh, the Smeg looking a bit wobbly.
Oh. Okay, now the beat. Long beat up to to Clark Island. As Tech 2 goes round. And following her will be Noakes sailing, Sean Langman, Josh and Ed Howes, Josh Babeski with a new sail configuration. ready for their new hull to go under it. There goes Noakes. Here comes Birkenhead with a black chute. I think Burrawang to windward of him. And the 18-footer bar and restaurant having, as you said, their best race, Jimmy. Then the Royal Oak is round, and the Balmain Slake also their best race for a long while. They're around. Henry Larkin, George Richardson and Flynn Toomey. Nice breeze, Andrew. What have we got? About 11 knots, perhaps?
Perhaps just a little more. And
Yeah.
a bit of grey cloud coming. It usually signals a further little bill.
Yeah.
And a little
Okay, that's Noakes Youth
Pulse.
around. Birkenhead Point. Still got to get that chute dead and buried. Fisher Paykel. And here comes the Burrawang.
the mighty Burrawang.
Oh, Simon Nern in a little bit of a puff. Ilve, Nick Daly, Finn Port, Keegan York, and then trailing them is Shaw and Partners. Currently fourth on the point score. He's got a bit of work to do to get up there today, Andrew.
Yeah, and we should mention
Change of crew on there.
change of crew on the Shaw and Partners also. Lockie Pryor being substituted, I think, not well again. James Lawera Fernandez.
Ooh, there's a soft old tack on the Birkenhead point.
Yeah, need a
Just-
bit more jib back.
Yeah, just need to
So
get across
fairly,
and going, yep.
fairly short beat and a bit of a one-way track.
Yeah, it looks like it. They've all gone out in towards Garden Island, Rushcutters Bay area.
You have to go to the river, and the current is strongest right on the corner of Garden Island. Let's take from the first beat. It would seem that Tech 2 isn't all that fast today. New jib, who knows, but not going. They started very well, but were a good 40 seconds adrift from the top mark, so maybe they're still working on it. Jim, you can have a look.
So at the Lewin mark, after the long run from Shark Island, it was Harry Price in the Rag and Famish that led narrowly from Lazarus Capital Partners, Andu and Yandu. It's the fleet now. There's Noakes sailing with out the insignia. He's back in about 6th spot. There's Tech 2, who's probably 5th at the moment, or maybe 6th. He's gone furthest right of the whole leading group. And
Good bit of right hand coming in here
Yeah.
too, Pete, around the corner.
you'll
He's just
see
into it
there in
now.
the distance, Andu, he's done quite well. He's the next furthest right. And,
Yeah, you'd think
Then-
Andu might be in front of him.
and then to the left of him is the Rag and Famish, the Rag and Famish who led at the leeward mark, but Andu's got a nice right-hander there.
So
David
Andu-
Gilmore and the boys, and Tech 2 just coming into it.
Yeah.
The boats coming back on port don't look so flash at the moment, but I think it will be close to Andu or Rag and Famish. Here's Tech 2 throwing a bit of mainsail at it here, but
Yeah. So-
Andu's got a lovely little right-hander.
Yeah, no, nice bit of stream out of Double Bay.
And coming up to the turning mark at Clark Island at the entrance to Double Bay, he will tack on the gas of Rag and Famish, you'd think.
So Tech 2's got up to second there, Pete, so he mightn't be that slow after all.
No. So from right, it's Andu, Tech 2, Rag and Famish, Lazarus and Yandu. So the right paid there.
The right always pays.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, except for last week, according to Chits. Okay, Chits. Now, this would be good, this run, Pete. Good downwind speed test. And a situation in which Tech 2 is pretty confident. Let's see.
Yeah, there's the rag just taking the stern of Tech 2. And Andu just tacking up on the pretty close to the ley line. And Tech 2 still on starboard.
And a good puff coming out of the bay.
Good, really good puff coming that Lazarus just tacked onto starboard. We'll get in a moment. Rag and Famish will be into it. And Yandu, you'll see, come at the stern of Lazarus. So he's probably been the loser out of that beat, Yandu. He went from, dropped a fair way back after he was right on the stern of Andu.
He might have had a problem tacking or something, Pete, because he's lost a lot, hasn't he? And I think Lazarus is sailing with no boom bang.
But we noticed that when he started his downwind leg.
Yeah. And that's not conducive, shall we say.
There's Andu in the distance. He will be tacking shortly. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, boys. There he goes. He will round first. The others are on tight ley lines. Tech 2 and Rag and Famish. Okay, Andu's around. Leads quite well. 15 or so seconds. Tech 2 coming round the bow of Rag and Famish to be second, but as Andu leads, there's Rag and Famish. You'll see Tech 2 being spat out in front of him. There he goes. So he's done a great job. Tech 2, he's come a long way back. He's second.
Round the mark and a good puff. Off we go.
Rag and Famish third. Andu just set the chute.
20 seconds up the margin, Pete.
Okay, not in the greatest of pressure, while the other two behind him have gone with main and jib just to get high.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work.
So the next beat is the mark is the next mark is at Chowder Bay, and they'll beat up into Rose Bay again as the Lazarus goes round in fourth spot, and fifth will be Yandu. Looks quite comfortable, Yandu in the distance with the spinnaker, Yandu in a good gust. And then Smeg's a fair way back, just coming up wind. Noakes would be next round following Yandu. But anyway, we're on the leaders.
So just looking forward, viewers. Tech 2 just gone into hoist. It's in the right corner of the screen there. And Rag and Famish copying them to some degree. And Tech 2 off and away.
That's the leader with the white spinnaker, Andu. Then Tech 2 and the purple spinnaker of the Rag and Famish.
And now Yandu getting carted away. We're travelling with Lazarus and Yandu. Yandu mapped down towards Bradley's Head. 15 degrees below course in a puff. The rain squall didn't come, Peter, and the breeze gone back to where it sort of was. Yeah.
Blue sky.
Blue sky. It was quite nice. There's not too many spikes in the wind so far. And at the moment, they're, I wouldn't say laying, but they'll probably have a half a shot at this. Yandu taking the high road with Lazarus, while the leaders are just bow down and pumping away in a good little puff. Just past the Kentucky Fried mark or the channel marker at Bradley's Head goes Andu. Now Yandu's got a puff.
Yeah, so just remember, Pete, it's a lay mark at Chowder. It's not the YA market, so, you know, with where they're pointed at the moment, they'll be able to just judge the distance the two sail of the mark under full pressure without too much trouble.
It's a good heavy crew here, Bucko, to swing it out.
We'll get there all right without dropping the chute, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
No trouble at all.
marks above the headland.
Even Woody's out in the trapeze now. He's normally takes a cruising roll, but there's a great shot of the Rag. Purple chute, Tech 2, and in the distance, Andu, the leader. Now There's the top 5. Look at that. Great shot.
Yep.
All fighting hard to get round this headland and Chowder Head. I think they're going to probably do it, aren't they, Andrew? I think. Although the mark, as you say, is up a little.
Yeah. And now they're looking for depth.
Oh, they'll be right. Absolutely, no problem.
Yeah, well.
Do it with my eyes closed here. Easy.
No worries, mate. Yeah, I mean, Andrew, not in the MG mode, but I'm super struggling.
Tech 2, he's come from a long way back, hasn't he, up that first beat?
Yeah.
He's always there or thereabouts. Lazarus coming into the picture, getting some nice height now, in a bit of a softer spot.
You stay where you are. You go back around. You stay where you are. So we're just going to look behind us for a second. So there's Noakes and Smeg.
Okay, here's Noakes, Smeg, then the next 2 after the leading 5. Smeg's back a fair bit. He hasn't really imposed himself yet on this race. He's a long way back now.
That yellow shoots the 18 restaurant, Pete, just behind the Smeg.
Yeah, and then
The little 29ers in the background that we're covering earlier.
yeah, they're
They're
good,
doing the
good
same
hit out.
course as what we do.
Yeah, very good hit out. Okay, there's Noakes.
Okay, you go. Come round to the these guys.
Smeg and Noakes. And they're the leaders. They're approaching the turning mark in Chowder Bay. They've all done it relatively easy with their spinnakers. No real drama to get round Chowder Head. Andu leads. You're dropping the chute now. That's the lane mark just to the right of her. And barreling down is Tech 2 and Rag and Famish.
I put the mark unexpectedly far into the bay today for some reason.
Okay, Andu's round. Just a couple of boat lengths behind is Tech 2, so this is going to be a good battle upwind. They go back up into Rose Bay, then back down to Taylor Bay. So a big beat now up into Rose Bay, which was the first weather mark. The Rag will be 3rd round. And here comes Yandu with the white chute, just coming up to Lazarus. So quite tight, only a minute between the top 5.
Yep.
So anyone's race. Lazarus round. Yandu next. Standing out on starboard. Will Yandu do the big breakaway and go to the right again?
Well, they need to clear their air anyway.
Yes,
Peter,
I think so, yeah.
Here comes Noakes and Smeg.
Noakes and Smeg are the next group, so they're 6th and 7th. And the Royal Oak will be after them. So there's Noakes just dropping. So it's all pretty tight. And the white spinnaker belongs to the Royal Oak 4-pine. As Noakes getting the spinnaker down, they're around. Smeg will be next. Oh, Noakes has got a bit on, but there's Smeg.
Keep the mark in. Yep.
No one's tacked yet. They're all on starboard.
So we get the line.
The Royal Oak. The yellow spinnaker is the 18-foot bar and restaurant, I think.
Yep,
Then Noakes
absolutely.
Youth with the blue chute. Yep, there's Noakes Youth. Haven't seen Noakes Blue out today, did they? Event
Yeah.
Heritage, was she?
He's just right here.
coming into the mark as we speak, Peter.
I thought that was Noakes
No, that's
Youth.
Noakes Youth,
I
that
think that's
one.
Noakes Youth.
Noakes Youth, sorry.
Yeah, Yvette's got no sign writing on her sale today either.
Right. Oh, okay. Haven't seen it. Okay, there's the 18-footer bar and restaurant. James Francis on the stick today. Here comes Noakes Youth. Then Balmain Slake. Following them is Fisher Paykel. They're back a bit. They're 5th on the point score at the moment going into today's race. Ilvey will be next. And then our old friends and Shore and Partners with a red spinnaker.
You'll need to mount a big charge from there, Pete.
Yes. They like to leave it late.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Jordan Gertis round in Fisher Paykel. Then Ilvey. Oh, there's the Shore and Partners. Oh, they're gone, gone. Even bigger, they're giving you a bigger start now.
Back to the auctioneer days, Pete.
Yes. Going, oh, Ilvey round. Then the Burrowang and Finport. Okay, they're on their way up to the Shark Island turning mark in a nice south-southeaster of probably 10 to 11 knots, maybe 12 at times. Lovely sunny day now after the earlier misty rain that came across the racecourse, but sky clearing and it's a nice sailing breeze. Now, Andrew, did you know that before the West Australian Premier, Mr McGowan, closed the borders down again, it was highly likely that we were going to have a Western Australian representative in the JJ Giltons? Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Who was the skipper?
Eh?
I'd pick Dave Gilmore if I was WA.
Yes.
He's already here.
Yes. Correct.
Incorrect. Incorrect. See, I lead you into these, Bucko, and you wade straight in.
Yeah,
it was the great Grant Rollison.
The Rollo.
He was trying to get, spoke to him during the week, and he was hopeful of getting the old Shore and Partners and resurrecting that and racing in the Giltons. He's going to have a big black swan on the sail, he told me.
There was another proposal involving an unused new boat as well, Pete.
Well, but if I just finish the Rollo story,
Yeah.
the borders were meant to be open from the 5th of February, but
Yeah.
of course now they've closed down. So I spoke to him before the close down, and he was very keen to come across and had a West Australian crew to come with him, and he would have added some colour to the regatta, but I don't really know now with the borders closed. He might be able to do it.
Well, all I can say about that, Peter, is there must be an election coming up in Western Australia. So, Pete, the fleet has voted that the right side pays.
We're all going to the right of the island, Shark Island, I'd say. From the Rag and Famish, who's in holding down third spot. All the fleet leaders going on, long port tack up to the right-hand side of Shark Island. And just to finish on Rollo, he's been watching the stream. He thinks it's terrific. And it would be great to see him here at the JJ's, but who knows? So, Rollo, hope you're well and somehow hope you can make it. And it probably doesn't look too good at the moment, as we're focusing on another West Australian, David Gilmore, at the helm of Andu, who just narrowly leads from Tech 2. See Tech 2 coming across on starboard. They're going up the right-hand side of Shark Island. There's Tech 2 coming into the picture now. Oh, he's had to take his stern. He's had to take his stern. Okay. Tech 2 leads. There you go.
Dave Gilmore's the most polite bloke in an 18-foot skip. He's taken 3 sterns that we've seen.
That's right. And a bit of wind coming off.
Takes after his mother, David does.
Yeah, not after his old man.
Very polite.
Yeah. Good bit of pressure coming here, Pete.
There we go. There's Tech 2.
And the water surface showing signs of getting warmer here, Pete, if I might say it. Breeze starting to lift off more significantly between the puffs now. Very careful work there from Tech 2 to stay in the pressure.
Yeah. Just remembering they crossed Andu the last time. It was very close. Here's a cross going for 3rd and 4th. That is Rag and Famish tacking under Lazarus, who's probably claimed 3rd spot, but it's very close between those two as we still concentrating on Andu, going away on Port. And there's Lazarus and Rag battling it out for 3rd. Yandu a little way back in 5th spot.
So Tech 2 can think about attack here, and Andu mustn't be far off.
No, because Tech 2 doesn't look anything great going back. But anyway, we're on Rag and Lazarus, both on starboard, very high on starboard, which could favour Andu when they come back. He should be close to tacking. There he goes.
Tech 2 is going to attack as well.
Tech 2 will tack, so the 4 leaders are all on starboard. And there's nice little puffs coming between Shark Island and the eastern side of Point Piper. So there's a good lineup of the top 4. Andu, Tech 2, Lazarus and Rag and Famish. Great overhead shot of Andu. There's Shark Island in the background. It's a lovely shot now. Good clear runway up to the weather mark. And they'll round this and go back down towards Taylor Bay. So it'll be a VMG run.
Andu looking pretty fast there, Jimmy.
Absolutely. You obviously liked what he's seen over on that right-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. He's put about 4 boatlets into Tech 2. Tech 2, 2 more tacks, I think, as well.
Yeah. A few little contributing factors, but...
Yeah.
Still a cracking race here on our hands, isn't it?
Yep.
It surely is. Andu will lay above Shark Island. Lazarus and Rag will be tight on the Shark Island wharf. They'll probably have to bail out, I think.
Probably going to jump out. Tech 2.
Yeah, although they're starting to lift a little on starboard now. They might sneak around if they want to, and they will, I think. Yes, they'll all lay round.
Andu actually sailing a little fast and
She
low
looks
there.
quick, yeah. She's in a very fast mode.
But cracked sheets. Must be up to the ley line. Doesn't
Gee,
seem
that'd be,
right, but
that'd be
possible.
game. Good
No,
gust.
no, they're up to the ley line indeed.
Good gust here on the Rag.
Yeah. Wow.
Now
she's
smoking.
It's on.
Well, we've got a race on our hands here.
Which way would you go down the run, Peter?
Looking downwind, I'd go left.
Yeah, it's often been the case that the Shark Island side pays, and that's what it looks like now, but no warranty on that one, of course.
Tell you when I get to the leeward mark what way I should have gone.
That, well, I should have, would have.
I would have. Okay, here's the lineup. Lazarus just eating a bit of gas here. She's dropped back a little. Rag and Famish has done a good job to hang in there. So Lazarus looking at the gas of about 3 boats there. And that hurts. He's got to bail out, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think, yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
Sooner than later, you've got to get out of that.
Andu just short of the ley line. He's got 2 tacks and in.
Plenty of breeze for the barrelway. A little puff here about perhaps nearly 14 knots, which starts to make life a bit interesting with the big rig in.
Okay. Around he goes.
And it's a bit tough. Lows down speed barrelway, but they've got it done.
Tech 2 will be second. The Rag third.
The Rag.
Oh, bit shaky.
So there's a bit of decision making to do here, Peter. Do you jibe or you go this side? Rag.
Tech 2's got a good gust to try to avoid Lazarus. Gee, Lazarus was the loser there. He sat in the gas probably for too long.
And 2 not very good tacks.
Yeah, and then he got real squirreled up there as they all going across on port jibe towards Shark Island. Will they go? Which side of the island will they go, do you think?
Well,
they're jibing now. Andrew's jibing. Yeah. So as Lazarus goes round the mark. Oh, they're wobbly. Oh, Lazarus. Hang in there, boys. As Yandu comes round, but on. There's Yandu attacking in 5th spot. And a fair gap then to the 6th spot as in the distance, Rag and Famish with a purple chute getting a bit wobbly. But she's survived. Yandu to set. Lazarus is set. And away they go. Into Shark Island, jibing and then out on starboard. That's Smeg just going past Yandu, but they're the leaders. Tech 2 and Andu.
Beautiful jibe on the Tech 2. Lovely jibe on the Andu also. And Pete, I would think looking at that Andu might be on the verge of being on the lay line to the bottom mark. See what happens. Yep. And looking at that, Tech 2 VMG running and Andu somewhat sailing hotter than VMG run.
Talking about Nags Blue, that's them just coming into screen now, Pete.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. They're a long way back, that's for sure.
Almost a full new lineup in that boat today. Tommy Clout off on COVID prevention duties.
This is a great overhead shot of Andu. Tech 2 up on his windward hip. Screaming into Taylor Bay now in it. Nice pressure. Just behind them is the Rag and Famish, but that's the distance between the first and second. That's the 3 leaders. I'd like to send a cheerio to all our viewers around the globe. And special hello to Keith Statton from Chesapeake Bay in the United States. So Keith, I hope you're warm and snugged up and enjoying this stream. Brought to you by Sail Media.
I think we might shout out to Ian Murray's dad Al. In good health, eats capsicums every day, he says, that's the secret. Coming up to 97 years old.
Shackles. The good old Shackles.
Good old Al.
Yes.
Uncle Al, my next door neighbour.
Hello from all of us, mate.
Yeah, indeed. Wish him well.
Here we go. Action stations at the bottom mark here.
One and in here, one and in.
One and in, Pete.
Absolutely, one and in.
And the breeze lifted off, so they've ended up VMG running to some degree. And they'll have to do a completed job, I think, by the look of that.
Yeah, very close. 3, 2, 1.5. Let's go, boys. There we go. Jibe drop.
Jibe drop on both boats, I think. There's enough
Yeah.
wind. There's enough wind. Yep.
Oh,
No,
Tech
completed
2.
jibe on
Yeah,
Tech 2.
interesting.
Well,
They did that last week as well, remember?
Yeah,
that
not
short
Not much
little-
wind here, though.
No.
They push their luck pretty hard, but
Yeah.
they're good at it, so
The rag right on their hammer, too.
good stuff.
A race in 3 here.
The rag hasn't quite figured out the jibe angle thing.
No, it's
for these
light
boats.
here, though. Look at that. It's
Yeah,
just
no, first man
lifting off here.
First man out of the path. It's lifted off well and truly.
So back to Rose Bay they go.
Louis break in the boat, still putting the chute away, but no harm done by that. And a big puff coming from the right edge here. This is going to hurt the rag.
As we're watching Lazarus, Capital Partners, Marcus Ashley Jones will be 4th, and Yandu, John Winning, the series leader, will be in 5th spot. Now, Andrew, do we know what's happening with the New Zealand 18s? Are they thinking of coming, or do we know? Problem is getting back to New Zealand, I believe. So they may not.
As the rules presently are, yes.
Yeah.
Problem.
So they might not be here for the 2nd year running,
Yeah, which would be
which is a
terrible.
real shame.
Yep.
A real
Right,
shame.
so Pete, the fat lady's warming up. Who do you like here? You think Andor will hang on? Tech 2's got this nice long reach down to
Back to Robertson.
Mrs. Point.
Yeah, I think Andu may just hang in there, but you wouldn't ever write Tech 2 off. They're there or thereabouts each race, aren't they?
They are.
A little bit dead and buried this first beat, but they got themselves back up, and now they're a clear 2nd. And maybe just Jack's experience in 18s might just carry the day, but at the moment it's all with Andu.
And we should give some points indeed to the driver stepping in and
Absolutely.
maybe some points also to
Dave Gilmore,
but also to Matty and
Sammy.
Sammy for making the new man feel at home. I think pretty
There's
important.
no slouch. If they had a race on the last day of the 16 Nationals, he could have been taking the trophy back to WA. He filled in on IME while Davey O'Connor was off on waiting for babies to arrive.
All right. But Woody wouldn't be all that happy with this, Pete, would he? He's needs to pass Lazarus and get up near the podium.
Well, what we're seeing now is Tech 2 goes right. He's going to split. He's split away from Andu. And it looks like Andu's going to go left of the island, looking upwind, and Tech 2 probably going right. As we're watching the leeward mark round here, the Royal Oak and Smeg. See the remainder of the fleet barrelling down under Spinnaker. There's Yandu. Just ahead of him, Lazarus. Not much pressure here. So,
No. And Tech 2, not on screen, out to the other side of the track. Look like they'd be sailing in more pressure than the guys on the left here. But now the leaders here, line of breeze now across the whole bay, so probably it's back to even again.
okay, well, that's Lazarus and Yandu are both tacked onto port. Maybe they're going to roll the dice and go to the right-hand side of the island. There's Andu. He's now tacked onto port. Will he go the other side of the island? He wouldn't want to leave it any later to tack to go that way, because he'll get a bit of a lee off that island. But he's going out that way, it seems. And the only boat not going that way is the Rag and Famish. Okay, there's Andu and the spectator Ferry in front of him.
So Pete, typically, that's not bad alignment on Andu there, you know, about that distance off. It's okay. Tech 2, getting out towards the starboard tack lay line in the distance. Andu trying to signal the square rigger in the near foreground.
Yes, couldn't be closer to him, but anyway, I think he's got the message. Oh, has he? No.
I think he has. I think he's going to starboard.
Yeah, he's turning to
Well,
starboard.
in the distance, you see Tech 2 has just tacked onto starboard. A little bit of a wobbly tack. It's got a nice little right hand at Tech 2. This is going to be close again.
I think Tech 2's back in front.
Bloody close, isn't it?
Yeah. What a good race we've got here again. There's Tech 2 just behind that square rigger.
Andu in high left at the moment, though.
Yeah,
so
I think well, we have a race on our hands.
Copy.
And looks like that.
Andu's maintained his lead.
Yeah, I think Tech 2's coming. Just hit a bit of a downer there. So it'll enable Andu to get across, but not by much.
It's only a couple of boat lengths.
Yeah, certainly not a race-winning lead at this stage. Far from it. What will he do? Sit on the gas of Tech 2?
I make a bet there'll be a covering tack, Peter. Because now Tech 2's closer to the puff than Andu if he doesn't tack straight away.
There he goes. Oh,
And Tech 2 will just put the bow down
yeah.
or upwards, as the case may be. He's gone bow up.
Well, listen, how close can you go?
Yeah.
How close can you go, baby? This is it.
So now it's going to be a squeezing match, Pete.
Yes, yeah.
High and slow all the way to the top mark.
You'd favour Andu in that position. He's just on the nice lee bow position of Tech 2. Just coming to a few little puffs coming through the gap between Shark Island and Point Piper.
The Dardanelles, Peter, the
Yeah,
Dardanelles.
the Dardanelles.
Couple of boat lengths.
Just don't go up just yet.
And
Just can't put the foot down, can he, Tech 2 there? He'll be gobbled up in the gas of Andu.
but he does have a good high slow mode, Pete, so
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll get a good look at the two boats' rigs here. Andu's sails are a little bigger than Tech 2's.
They're just under the mark.
Yeah.
Doing a good job to hang in there, Tech 2. Look at that.
No, he's,
Oh.
he's comfortable. Lovely
Just,
looking,
yeah.
lovely looking mates and love curve. Been plenty of work done.
What's the breeze? About 8-9 knots here, Andrew, I think.
Yeah, perhaps 10 in the next puff.
Yeah.
That's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So we round here, then back to Robertson Point, down harbour, and then to the finish.
There's Rag on screen, Pete, that went left of
Yep, there's Rag in third
left of
spot.
Shark Island.
So he rolled the dice, Harry Price, and probably hasn't lost out that much. He's done a good job there, the Rag. He's a lot higher than these two. He's coming round the bow a little. Gets out there and gets a little left-hander. He'll be looking okay. So he's far from out of it.
Get that mark rounding it.
This is going to be a very, very good finish here. Between these three, you'd anticipate.
So, Pete, I think the breeze is just turning right a fraction now.
Yes.
In this next little
Favour
pulse.
Tech 2 and Andu by that.
Yeah.
Which is not what you want trying to get down to Robertson Point.
There might be a bit of two-star reaching here for a sec.
The Rag's just down a little now. Is he into a little gust, a heading gust? Now these two here in the foreground will lead, first and second, I would think, although the Rag's not out on it. There he goes, he's tacking now. Now he'll be third, but he'll be very close to Tech 2.
If he's got the ley line right, Pete.
I think he will. Yes, he's got the bow up now. Wow, here we go. Game on.
So the left side paid, eh?
Oh. Now the Rag's going to get round in front of Tech 2. Good job, boys. Oh, Tech 2 really just squeezed the mark. Okay.
Not the best tack on the Tech 2.
Immediately into the set, the Andu. Rag and Famish on the outside of Tech 2.
Big noise to get over the top of the island from that hoist position, Pete.
Great set on Tech 2, has it on the Rag and Andu. Oh, the Tech 2, they're going up. Game on here.
Big time.
Yep. Swing
Very
around, boys.
aggressive and very slick from Tech 2.
All but rolled him.
Yeah.
Charlie's not even hooked up properly yet on there. Just the Jack's giving him the call to get out.
Yeah. All right, well, they got over the wharf okay, Pete, so that puff
Yeah.
turned into much.
Now back to Robertson Point, and then to the finish. Andu leads. Tech 2 and Rag having a real ding-dong battle here for second. As Noakes sailing splits them. Gee, they're a long way back today, the Noakes. Bit of work to do, I would think, there for the boys.
Yep.
Now, what do we got here, Andrew? A VMG run, do you think?
That's how it appears to be shaping up, isn't it? Tech 2 just roll over the top of Rag there. Just finally borrowed a bit of excess air.
Now Tech 2's got a beauty to roll down
Yeah.
with, and Andu hasn't got yet. Just coming into it now, Andu.
Yep. A screamer for Tech 2. That'll get him down on the leeward edge, which he will enjoy.
Oh, look. He's doing 2 to 1 of Andu at the moment.
And a header coming by the look of the boat coming upwind.
Now Andu's got it.
Yep.
Rag.
And the Rag just
Oh, the Rag just
run out of
hit it.
pressure.
Head-butted that. And
Yep.
no wind. And just stopped. And look at Tech 2. He's got plenty now. The Rag's up and going again. You'll see him in a moment. They're the 2 leaders. There's the Rag. Gee, lost out there, didn't he?
Pretty expensive, Pete, putting the wing in the water downwind.
Tech 2's now got a beauty to get down with.
Yeah.
Now the Rag's got it.
Yeah.
So it's a race in 3.
You're feeling pretty safe at the moment because they're all above the KFC marker, except for Rag. Looks like they're now not.
Well, they will go into VMG mode here, I think, Pete. Look at the winning.
Andu.
Yep.
He hit the brick wall there
So
into
a bit of
windward.
Hot water brick wall problem.
Tech 2, what are they going to do? Now Andu's got it again. He's away.
Well, Tech 2 now closed up to perhaps only a couple of boatlets. I can tell from here.
Wow, you won't see a better race than this. 3 of them.
Red hot. Tech 2 going into drop.
Oh, Tech 2 dropping. Interesting.
Well, it's a big right-hand shift, Pete.
Interesting. The Rag dropping. Oh, what's Andu going to do? Andu dropping 2. Oh,
breeze has gone, swung hard.
Yeah, there's look, good pressure coming out of Double Bay, Rushcutters Bay, as we're looking upwind and to windward.
So Tech 2 pretty tidy.
Andu not too tidy.
No, the reverse of tidy. Untidy.
Untidy, that's it.
That'll do.
Good education, Bucko.
And the rag a bit untidy as well.
Now, these boats, very close now. Tech 2 has rolled over Andu. Just, you can see that in the wake of a power boat. The mark from last time was quite high.
Well, the mark's still where it was, Pete. It's up to the left of where Tech 2's bound.
Okay, so they'll main and jib reach here. Advantage Tech 2.
Tech 2 leading now by a couple of boat lengths.
Got the drop done early and safely. Yeah, the mark is high. They're all laying it. Just main and jib reaching, two sail reaching. And a fair gap now to 4th and 5th, which is Yandu and Lazarus Capital Partners.
Yandu really needs to stay in front of Lazarus Capital Partners, Pete, for the overall points.
Yes, yes, they're 4 points ahead of Tech 2. So it'll all get down to next week, really, if it all stays roughly the same.
Well, Pete, I think the breeze far enough right, but it's nearly there one leg to the finish. Not quite, but significantly starboard bias.
Just round this mark and then to the finish. Tech 2, Jack McCartney, Andu, Dave Gilmore, standing in for Sevi Jarman today. He's done a terrific job to be first or second basically throughout this race.
Wow.
Couldn't get much closer than this. Nice bit of pressure.
Yep. Yeah, Tech 2 was doing a bit of soaking a minute ago, but now they're full noise into the mark in a good path.
50 metres to the mark, good pressure.
Now, tricky to style up with the bang on. But Tech 2's pretty good at it, Peter, aren't they?
There's the mark, here they go. There's the mark. Oh, there they go.
Wow. Full pressure dial up, not bad.
And you're allowed to kiss the mark if you're wondering. They would have thought they hit it, they did, but you can kiss it, okay. Now Gilmore's match racing tactics are coming to the fore, he hopes.
Yeah, but I think Tech 2 will just stand out to the next puff and tack.
Trying to wriggle his way away from Tech 2. There's a ferry going to approach here that's not going to help Tech 2. There's the ferry going just to windward of him. And there's a and Tech 2 going off in really good pressure towards Garden Island. But anyway, Andu, bit of sloppy water here, bit chopped up by ferries and powercraft.
Yeah, Andu's going to have chopped water and chopped up wind. Tech 2's done a pretty good job here, Pete, haven't they?
Yeah, yes.
Tacked on the face of the next half.
Looks high on starboard. Yeah. So the rag is in a solid third.
Yeah, and that's a good result for them. They would know that they left a minute or two on the track from relatively simple errors.
Well, there we think is the race leader, Jack McCartney. Tech 2, Charlie Wyatt and Lewis Brake done another very clinical job. They've kept chipping away, and they've chipped away so far now that they're very close to the lead, if not in the lead. Big split on Andu. He probably did the only thing he could do was tack right at the leeward mark to try and get the split. Good pressure in Rushcutters Bay, and there's Andu in the background towards Bradley's Head.
So, Pete, some new grey clouds signalling an increase and a right shift as well, I think, yeah. Looking at this, it's dead set southerly.
Yeah, well, there's nothing in this yet. You'll see Tech 2 just around the bow. Here comes Andu. He's tacked.
No.
Okay, Tech 2 leads, yes.
Pretty easily. And Tech 2's got the advantage of getting to this puff first as well. Like a Tech 2 might even stand back on port in front of Andu here, such as
The downer.
the nature of the beast, yes.
And Rag and Famish has gone.
He's gone hard right.
Yeah, well.
Not on screen. Here we are with Tech 2. So he's put about
Oh, yeah.
40 seconds, perhaps, 30 seconds, perhaps.
You'd think he's going to a bit of a soft area, looks like, but he'll tack shortly, I would think,
Here he goes,
to
Pete.
protect this lead.
Yeah. He has to do that.
Yeah. So he can really basically cover Andu all the way in now, as far as he likes.
Nice.
So we're halfway up the beat to the finish. It's Harry Price and the Rag and Famish on starboard. Solidly in third spot. Oh, he's come right into this, the Rag.
And it looked like they were barely going to cross it.
Yeah, so solidly in third, I said, maybe closer to second. Anyway, here we go, Tech 2 tacking. That's the gap to Andu. Yeah, the right certainly paid, and I would say that the Rag is very close to being second here. We'll see him shortly if we... There he is. There's the three of them now.
Andu suffered a fair bit of bad water and bad air where they went. And
Yes.
just a little bit unfortunate, but a big part of the race management here is just keeping your nose clean vis-a-vis ferries and ships and other powerboats.
Yeah, well, I thought I heard,
Things.
just straight after Andu tacked, I thought I heard a few profanities when they seen the ferry was
Yeah.
inbound to the city. So, you know, that has a huge bearing how quickly that can have an effect on you. Like it's good when you get people not from Sydney Harbour and you know the timetable of the ferries and you know how to play them into it.
Yes, the late Dave Stevens, who I saw with Peter Sorensen, was very good at that.
What, the ferry timetables, was it?
No,
Oh,
in
right.
3 minutes, the dirty air of the Manly Ferry will be here. You know,
Right.
that kind of idea.
The big kite.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's the Rag. He went out
Tacking.
again, had a little bit more dig at the right, and now back on starboard. He's the
He's
furthest
pretty
right.
much so out on a lay where he is, Pete.
Yeah,
Be
well-
far off it from there.
A couple of nice little right-handers. He'll be right into it. Oh, there he goes.
But, he probably is a bit too close up to Clark, I think, Pete. Tech 2 is probably about the right gauge there.
It's Andu to the left and Tech 2 to the right. First and second, or first and third. We're not sure where the Rag will come into play here.
And the appearance of a
But nice.
zone of a lot less pressure near the finish line. Interesting. And Tech 2 in the first part of it now, in fact.
Yes, he's gone down. Andu, see, just popping out to leeward of him. There he is.
A little bit of game of flying the wind, but they've just held their nerve there.
Yeah.
They're still
This will still be close, but it's still Tech 2 leads.
pleasantly 3 strings, and they're into the puff again now, so I don't have to worry about that too much, I don't think, now.
I think he'll just wait till Andu tacks and then tack on his gas and
Yeah,
lead him in, I think.
Pete, I think Andu's still second.
Yes. I think probably one bite too much for Harry Price, did he? Up to the right. Well, there's good breeze coming out of Double Bay here at the finishing line.
Have a look where he is, Pete. He's well up, shall we say.
Yeah, he's well up. Look at this good pressure here.
Yeah,
If he
yeah.
gets a right-hander here. Anyway, we're focusing on Tech 2 and Andu. There's Clark on in the background. Just Tech 2 just waiting till Andu goes.
Yeah.
You'd think.
No, here they go now.
Oh, okay. Okay, Andu standing on. Oh, not much pressure there where the Tech 2 boys are.
Yeah, but they're getting back to the puff, Pete.
Yes,
they'll be right.
yeah. Andu should be setting up shortly to tack. Wow, he's keep going, Andu.
Well, usual story. One side pays, Pete, and up the middle tends to be difficult.
And don't ride off the rag and Famish. He's come into it. He'll get second, I think.
Got the job done. Rag and Famish might be second. But Andrew's on high left, Pete. Have a look. Out on screen and out the window.
Yes.
But as usual, Tech 2 is pretty accurate on the ley lines.
He's just pretty accurate all day, hasn't he?
Yeah. Except for the first beat. So we'll find out what went wrong there.
Okay.
We'll relay that information to you next week.
Okay, well, there's Andu. And in the background, Tech 2 left. And in the middle, Rag and Famish, who will get, at the moment, second. Here comes Tech 2 into the finish to win the 7th heat. Attacking now. Tech 2 wins. And here's a good battle for second between Rag and Famish and Andu. Tech 2, Jack McCartney, well done. Another very polished performance leading into the JJs and the Australian Championship. Battle on for second, Rag and Famish. Harry Price, Andu, David Gilmore. Harry Price is going to do it.
And the Rag's going to get there by
Rag and Famish, yeah.
Wow. How about that, eh? 30 seconds, Pete.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
That was a great race.
Yeah. And
really good race.
Full credit to, the Andu boys for making a big fist of it.
Yes, indeed.
And good on the Rag and Famish, showing considerable promise. Excellent. And Tech 2 setting the standard once again. So he'll now be 11 points, Peter. How's your calculator going there? The abacus? Sorry, 15.
15, yeah.
Mr. Winning is going to get 4th.
So Yandu, we think, will be 4th, which will put him on 14 points. So provisionally, going into next week's final heat, Yandu will be leading by just 1 point from Tech 2. 14 plays 15. So, as they say, all to play for next week. But Tech 2 today, solid throughout, brilliant at times. And here's Yandu. What a season John Winning's had. He's had a second, a third, a first, a second, a 10th, a second, and a 4th. So a model of consistency. And that day he had a 10th was when that streaky Wesley was on, and he did a big cartwheeling capsize, went in about 2nd place. So he'd have to be very, very happy with the performance of his boat this year, as he's now just tagging to the finish to come in 4th spot. So, Andrew, what did we take out of today?
Well, there's plenty of boats that need work on their rigs. In that category, one would put Noakes and Smeg in particular. But the front end of the fleet looks fairly refined, Peter, doesn't it? And it looks like they're pretty close to the money. Smeg will be scratching their head a bit. Tech 2 close to the money with a new jib, and I think a new chute as well, perhaps. And you saw them make ground downwind again, didn't we, today? So
comes Lazarus in 5th spot, Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison.
And not a bad effort from them. I think they did have a little breakage, which they managed to fix en route. Some vang problem by looking at it at some point. And Smeg hasn't been anywhere all day, have they?
No, he hasn't. He's just
about 8th or something. And
he's been there in that rough position most of the day.
Yeah.
So probably a little disappointed. Might have to call his sailmaker and consultant and get Baz to sort the rig out. Okay, then the Royal Oak 4 Pine will be 7th. And then Noakes Sailing will be 8th.
And the strongest puff of the day, Pete, just as the race finished.
It's always the way, isn't it?
A little grey cloud and a bit of cold air.
So Noakes next across in 8th spot. And then a big gap to the rest of the fleet. There's Noakes across. All new sails on that boat by the look of it, Andrew.
Yep. Work needed.
Well, again, we've seen another thrilling race. I mean, that's all you could describe it as, with the result right in doubt till basically the last couple of 100 metres. But the day belonged quite clearly to the team on Tech 2 on the 7th heat of the state championships, the final heat next week. So Tech 2 was first, Rag and Famish, a very good performance by Harry Price in second. Andu with Dave Gilmore on the wheel today, they did excellently to be in third spot. Yandu, the consistent Yandu, fourth. Lazarus Capital Partners fifth. Smeg sixth. Royal Oak seventh. And Noakes eighth. And provisionally on the point score with the one heat remaining, Yandu leads on 14 and Tech 2 on 15. So it's all up for grabs next week in the final heat. So the Sail Media boys have done a terrific job bringing this all to you. We thank them once again. Great overhead shots and great on-the-water camera work. And we've seen a sparkling day, no doubt. And we began very early with the 29ers that into their Sail GP round 2. We saw some up-and-coming young skiff sailors there of the highest order. We saw a couple of good races, and I hope those youngsters, both boys and girls, enjoyed it out here and to get a taste of what it's like to see the 18-footers sail around. So congratulations to the 29ers and Matt and all the team that are doing such a good job in promoting those classes. So on behalf of everyone, Jimmy Bury, Andrew Buckland, I say thank you. If you don't forget, if you're sharing our pictures or stream, please feel free to do the right thing and credit Sail Media correctly. So on behalf of the team, we'll be back next Sunday for the final heat. This is Peter Shipway saying a very good afternoon from quite a sunny Sydney Harbour.